Oh wow, I get to start. Yay. So welcome to the Big Three Sportscast, where we talk about the Big Three sports. Well, technically, even though one just ended, one just started, and the other one's mid-season, but still,
And the
this is the
NHL's a
episode where we
thing
get to
as
talk
well.
about. We'll talk about that later though, because NHL beginning of this season is awful.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
it's because I'm honest. I'm being honest because I watch a lot of NHL and I play hockey, so it's like that's my thing. I play a
Yeah.
lot. But I can tell you right now, I was talking with all my guys last night because I was at a pickup game, and we're all like, "Oh, dude, Buffalo's first in league." And I was like, "Yeah, watch them. They're gonna shit the bed the rest of the season. They're always good for the first 10, and then they suck the rest."
Hey, man.
I mean,
Crazier
they're
things
really
have happened.
young. It happened.
True.
So they're really young. It just happens. I get it, but we'll see later. I mean, you can't say anything about the NHL season until it probably after December, because after that, then it really gets heated. And
I
love watching.
usually don't watch till the playoffs if my team's
That's
in
another
it.
thing.
But that's just me.
No, I get it. I mean, you guys are Caps fans, so I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
Except Cole's a Chicago fan. Which,
Yeah, that's
sorry,
true.
Cole, they're not.
Cole actually. Oh, he's having.
Oh, in and out. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Cole actually is Cole actually keeps up with the Blackhawks though.
Yeah, he's a Blackhawk fan. I know he actually keeps up with it, but they're not that good. Period.
I know.
Sorry, dude.
Same thing with the
Don't worry, I'm a-
Bulls, the
I'm a
White
Penguins
Sox.
fan,
It's been rough
and-
for Chicago lately.
Yo, they're gonna hit a good draft spot this year. I bet they're not gonna be that good.
All right, well, on to what you
Hey,
want.
I'm getting into it. I just wanted to say one more thing.
Oh,
Don't worry,
okay.
Cole. My pens suck too.
Damn.
We're not that. Honestly, it's the downfall of the Penguins. Period.
Bruh, is it finally Ryan's turn to have good sports teams? Is this allowed? What?
Yeah, probably.
What?
Probably because my Steelers
I mean,
suck.
the Redskins still can't talk. But besides them, any DC fan tends to not count them as a sports fan, right?
There's so many memes out there now.
We don't know if the Wizards are good yet or not. We'll still.
No, they're
They're
not.
not.
They're not good.
Damn
They
it.
need to blow their team up, but
They are 1-3.
yeah, they're not good.
We'll see. I mean, they could be
You know
better.
who's really not good this year, even before this person got hurt? The Warriors.
Yeah, that's wild.
They suck, dude. But we'll get into that later.
yeah.
Let's stick on the Nationals here,
Right.
Because we're gonna heap a little bit of praise onto them after they won the World Series. It was earlier this week, Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was Wednesday.
I was in the middle of class and I was talking with Dan and a couple other people, and they're like, I was like, "Oh man, what happened?" Dan goes, "They won the World Series." I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god. Well, as a fan of the Nash base since they came to DC, I'm more shocked than anything. I guess happy is another thing, but more shocked and surprised that we even were able to do that, because the way it happened had never been done before in a World Series. So
Yeah, no, nobody's won that many road games.
exactly, no team in MLB history, when you get to the World Series, has ever won.
I think that's any sport history.
No, combined, both teams won, I believe, 7 road
was
games.
seven. It was seven
Yeah,
out of
all games were run on the road. And before even the final game, both teams had broken the record for most road games won in a World Series, combined. And then
they're the only sport that's all
across all sports, across
this
all
is the
those.
only time it's ever happened.
Exactly, which is stunning. But here's the thing: if you kind of look back at our season, it sort of went that way. We did not really do that well at home. It was really weird. We were really average at best at home, and we were performing well on the road when we had our long streaks that we would go on. So it was quite surprising to see that finally translate what we could do in the regular season, actually translate into the playoffs, continue throughout the playoffs. And there was a bad lull period when we went back to DC against the Astros, where we just got stomped.
This much about that is the Nationals stuck to what was their strong suit, which was
Yeah.
the starting pitching. I feel like if they had gone more to their bullpen, they were screwed. Period.
Oh, for sure. Well, like I told you before, if we made to a World Series, we had to do it quickly. And the only thing I didn't account for was the fact that we were going to use our starting pitching as our bullpen. I did not know we were going to do that. We used Patrick Corbin and Anibal Sanchez, and even Strasburg. I think we used him one time out of the pen.
What's that guy? Fernando Rodney? Is that his name?
Yeah, but he's not. He's not
he
good.
Didn't do bad.
No, the one game he came in, he blew up. He gave up he had one decent game, and then the next game he imploded massively. But
he's past his prime, honestly.
He's definitely has. But I got to give Davey Martinez credit. He used the bullpen. He knew what the weakest part of our team was, and he avoided that throughout the whole World Series because he knew if we were in a close game, we were not probably going to win it due to how bad our bullpen was. So he used our strengths in our starting pitching as basically a leverage to continue pulling us towards that game 7. And in game 7, all bets are off. You throw everyone at it, right? You go everyone. You bring in whoever you have to because it doesn't matter at that point. Mm-hmm. So he got us to the game 7 after we lost 3 in a row by winning in game 6 in Houston, which was huge to get at. Strasburg was phenomenal this postseason. Absolutely incredible.
I'm pretty sure that was a game. I was listening to Pat McAfee's podcast. He's like, he got held out from the game. He couldn't even get into the 7th inning.
Could he really? Damn.
Yeah, dude. They got it was a whole thing, but it was
wow.
really funny. He was complaining because he got the tickets, but he got them from the wrong website.
Oh no.
He's like, it was literally the difference. He's like, this is the difference between SeatGeek and the MLB.
That's true.
I was like,
Jesus, that's crazy. But yeah.
Didn't they get slammed that game though?
Who?
Astros.
The Astros. Well, they didn't get
until a point.
It was close because the Strasburg gave up 2 runs, but then he kept it at whatever it was 2. He kept the Astros at 2 runs the rest of the time he pitched to I think maybe the 7th or the 8th inning.
I think that was the game I actually got to watch.
And then we just came in and hammered runs to finish it off, and they never got more than 2. So. It was close for about 3/4 of the game, and then it kind of went away from them. But Strasburg was the MVP of the World Series because of just how dominant he was.
Dude, I think
pitching.
That one game I looked at, that man was sweating.
Oh yeah.
So I think he had thrown 120 pitches, and I'm like,
he was up there.
Max.
Oh yeah, he would
max to let people throw. And he was dude, he had surgery. Who gives a shit anymore? Just let him throw.
He was up there. That game 6 for sure. We were pushing him to his absolute limit because he was at our pitching coach had said after the 5th inning that he was at his limit already, and then Strasburg just told him keep going, forever, however long you need me, I'll pitch for. That's just what he told me. That's what he told the coach. So
he fucking threw a great game.
He did. It was incredible. He really
amazing.
Multiple times he had multiple people on base, and he got out of it with giving up only 2 runs total throughout the whole game, which allowed us to get to a game 7 by scoring enough. And then game 7, this is what many are talking about. The Astros pitching was phenomenal. Zach Greinke had been killing us this whole World Series. We could not hit him. Cole first game was really bad actually. But his second game was very dominant. Exactly. And then this is what happened.
Verlander missed everything.
Verlander had a terrible game both times he played.
In his entire career, he has yet to win a World Series game.
And he's been there at least 3 times, I think.
He's been there with Detroit, right?
Yeah, he went there with Detroit and twice with the Astros now, which is absolutely insane that he can't win one of them. But that's anyway.
But he's got a ring though, doesn't he? Because he won with the Astros.
Yeah, I think he did. The Astros won 2 years ago, so yeah.
He got given one. Here you go. I'm pretty sure he was on that team, but he didn't win. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, exactly, and so basically,
the Astro team is about to fall apart.
Honestly, they're about to lose one. They're the best pitcher in the MLB, which is going to be killer to them. So we'll have to see what happens.
They're losing Cole for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But yeah, you get to the end of Game 7, and towards near the 7th inning or so, Zach Greinke had just given up a solo home run, right? So it was 2-1, and he had been pitching phenomenal. But then, as soon as he gives up that solo home run, the Astros coach decides to take him out and not bring in Garrett Cole, who had been warming up. Instead, they bring in a relief pitcher who isn't incredible, but not terrible. He's average relief pitcher. And that dude instantly gives up a 2-run home run right away. So, it was
that was something
that
the
quick.
Did well.
Yeah, we
was
punished.
totally just pounding the ball.
We
Like, when it
really
came to
punished
clutch
bad
moments,
decisions.
They punished bad pitching. Like,
Exactly.
if they left one ball over the plate, there was a solid chance it was getting.
Something that the playoffs, a lot of pitchers in the playoffs were doing to the Nationals was pitching them high fastballs and close, high and away. Sorry, because they knew.
Well, that's because you could get them to bite on it.
Exactly, and the Nats hitting was chasing so many high and away fastballs, which was killing them.
It seemed like they calmed down a lot.
And it did. What the playoff pitching went away from that towards the end, and then the Nats finally stopped swinging at them. And when that happened, they had to go to other pitches to get the outs, and that's when the Nats took advantage of missed opportunities by the Astros. And something that the Nats had been missing for so long was that clutch factor. There were so many times in previous postseasons when the Nats would not do something clutch in a clutch scenario. You'd have two people on base, and it would you'd have two people on base, and the person who was supposed to get the big hit would just not do it, and that changed this postseason with our lineup in general.
I mean, for me, watching that, the Astros is like Soto. Wait, so Soto didn't win MVP for that?
No, the MVP of the World Series went to Strasburg.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the pitchers definitely carried the Nats a lot.
Well, Strasburg went 5-0 in the postseason, and he went like 2-0 in the World Series, and he held it to like 4 total runs, I think.
Soto hitting like as well as he did.
Oh, he was. Well, there was 3 people that were like right neck and neck. It was Strasburg, Soto, and Rendon for the World MVP.
Rendon did have a good. Like, he didn't have as good of a. Rendon kind of got him to the playoff.
Yeah.
But Soto kind of finished the series.
Yeah, I think so.
Soto went through the playoffs playing well, and then Rendon, he didn't play like bad, but he wasn't like that MVP caliber kind of.
Well, it took him a while to get. It kind of took him a while to get heated up. Like throughout the postseason, he had not been really doing incredible, but then like towards the last 3 or so games, he finally actually came into what his MVP caliber form was supposed to be.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, like I don't watch a lot of baseball from when I played and what I remember. The Nationals just had their hitting was there and their pitching was there. Why
one of those
pitchers if your starters go 70?
Apparently, we took all baseball wisdom out of it. You don't need like certain players if you can just fill up every other role.
Strasburg, go in there.
Exactly.
Here, please.
To be fair, the Nationals had such a dominant pitching lineup for years now. We just didn't have that third or fourth role that could come in and say, okay, we bring this person in and they can relief pitch for us because our bullpen our bullpen has always been bad, but we brought in another star. Yeah, and Scherzer, well, I mean, I wouldn't say he played well. He did enough to win. That's what he did.
I mean, that's all you got to ask for.
Exactly.
If the Nationals were scoring, like when they won convincingly.
Oh yeah, for sure. We would. When we could get hits, we would win.
I think it was game 2 when they just blew.
Oh, it was like 10-2 or something wild like that.
But it was like it was a tie ball game until the third baseman Bregman, I think. Bregman just missed. He muffed the play.
Oh, that happened. That was the weirdest thing. It was one of those lucky runs where, like, all the time we would be facing opponents who would just literally miss easy plays, muff bad, whiff on everything, and it was so weird. But I guess it's one of those, like, runs where everything's going so right for a team that this just starts to happen to every other team they play.
It's like the saying goes, you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good.
Exactly. And we were in the Nationals. We're in one of those situations where
they were in both of those situations.
Everything kind of went their way. Now, of course, we did lose 3 in a row at home. I'm not saying it was perfect, but
nobody won a game at home.
Nobody won a game at home in the World Series. So again, it doesn't matter that much in the end.
I mean, you walked out with 4 wins. That's what matters. And you walked out with a trophy and a ring. Who cares?
Yeah, the first World Series win for the Washington Nationals. Now, technically, they had a World Series in 1924 with the Senators.
Did they win that one?
They did win that, yeah.
Okay.
But they didn't. I'm not even sure if they won that one. I just know they were definitely there in 1924. So it had been, however many years that is till now, 96, I think. And
something like that, dude.
Yeah. So it had been a very long time. And to give a credit and shout out to Dan, he did say that the Nationals were going to make the World Series. He did predict that. He did predict that from
He didn't
basically
playoff.
the NLDS, I think, pretty much. And
He missed the wild card and he got it in the
yeah, he got in the, and
he
he
got
only
the
said
Astros
he
off.
said the Yankees would beat the Astros, and then the Yankees would beat the Nats in 5. But I asked him if the Astros somehow beat the Yankees, do the Nats stand a chance? And he also had the Astros beating the Nats in 5
He
as
said
well.
the AL was going to win, which, in all honesty, like we said that Bregman missed that play and it just opened up the floodgates.
Yeah.
It's kind of still goes along the line of the AL had, like, I think the Astros were the best fielding team,
They were.
and then just downhill.
Oh yeah, it seemed like every team we faced had some problem that they were never had a problem with that in the regular season, and all of a sudden it came to the playoffs and they were just falling
it's
apart.
pressure, dude.
It is.
Like, anytime there's pressure, you can mess up. It's definitely happened
I mean,
to everybody. The best.
you look at the Dodgers; they were expected to win the World Series, not just make it, but win it, and they fell apart in the NLDS. I mean,
I don't believe anybody.
That is
says
wild.
It's like, no.
But yeah, I
Dan
mean-
told me that actually after the World Series happened,
yeah.
I mean, the Yankees having the payroll they do are just looking to buy like.
Oh,
everybody
of course.
They're
Oh.
like, Dan was like, there's like reports already that like the Yankees want Soto.
Oh, of course they do, but they're not gonna get Soto. He's still on a contract right now.
Yo, you can't tell me if they offer the Nationals a nice trade, they'll take it. Hey man.
I mean, maybe I just don't see the fan. That would just be murderous to a fan base who loved him. And
Oh yeah, I know.
currently-
I'm not saying it'll happen.
I
but
do see
already
Rendon. I do see Anthony Rendon being a very viable option for the Yankees, maybe the
no, dude,
Red Sox.
If the Nationals want to keep up their winning, like they need to buy.
Yeah, they're gonna have to spend money this year, and they didn't do it with Harper, and that proved to be a good thing. But
Harper getting him out of there was great.
yeah, it was the best thing that DC has done in a while, considering the fact that what it led to, of course, and who they got in return for it, and what they were able to spend their money on in return for it. But
That
now,
payment they didn't spend on him was great.
exactly, they got
But that's
Patrick
what he-
Corbin, they got a lot of different people, and
Cole's having a problem.
yeah, Cole's having some mic issues apparently. And but the thing is that you can only do that so often. You have to eventually spend money, as we know that comes to the fact that the Astros are going to have to spend money, and so are the Nats if they want to keep what they built at this juncture, at least. No, that was the weird thing. Is like
Their pitchers, like, yeah, they only can pitch one game, but they didn't have a guy on the field who's consistently demanding all the attention.
no, that's very true. Like when Harper was in the Nationals uniform, that was him. That
it
was
was
the
his
clear-cut case. Everyone knew who was the star there. But the Nats kind of had the trio of stars, almost you could call it, if you count pitchers as well, where you had Rendon, you had Soto, you had others, you had Howie Kendrick,
Dude,
you had Ryan
honestly, there was,
Zimmerman,
like,
you had
4 or 5 on there.
exactly, you had a bunch of different people who would step up every different day. Although it kind of came to the World Series, and Rendon and Soto kind of put their name out there, especially Soto put his name out there as like a bona fide star.
Soto's
Because
hitting bombs.
man, did he hit some shots
When he hit that jack.
in the first game. Oh, I remember.
And I think it was like Game 6 when he just kept, because the dude.
Oh yes,
He was giving him a little bit of payback. I was
yes,
you
I
know,
remember. He gave
like, I was
Bregman
like,
some
that's what
payback.
they need. Yeah, I was like, that's what they like. Nationals need,
Yeah.
a little bit of attitude.
Yeah, that's true.
He
And
gave it to him.
yeah, it definitely, you could definitely see the change in
Put a little, like pep in their step, a little
exactly.
swagger
It
to
made them believe they could win that game, believe they could
yeah.
win the series at that point. But I mean, that's when you could see the change where Soto started to become that missing piece that we dropped when Harper left, and that's when like you could see him filling that role. And not necessarily in the way Harper did it, where he was super cocky about everything, but in the way that a star player should step up in a clutch moment type of role. And he definitely did that. But anyway, getting back to what I was just basically saying, I was like you were saying, is that the Nats are, if they want to keep what the core that they built, it's going to be very expensive, just given how good Rendon played this year. That's going to be your biggest price point.
Yeah, that's the problem though with.
And I don't
like
see how they're going to work it with the
They'll
amount of money they're willing to spend, at least.
They'll find a way. I think Rendon's not that kind of guy to be like, oh, I'm the superstar now, but maybe I'll
No,
win a championship for you.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I just think that like once you win that championship, will his priority be on winning another, or will it be securing a financial future for as many generations as he can?
He's got enough money. I don't see why. That's what I don't get about baseball players, because they're like, oh, I'm making like millions and I'm making like hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm like, man, you haven't even won a championship. Go home.
Yeah. I mean, look at Mike Trout.
Trout gets hurt, and that's not his fault. His team can't put a team around him.
His
really
team is terrible, but that's a whole nother situation.
That's a GM problem. That's not a Trout problem.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
Trout solo carries that teams to win sometimes.
Very true.
So I mean, you can't even blame him. I'm talking like you had Harper though. He's like, I want millions, and they're like, nope, get out.
He just had a bad attitude. We offered him a contract. He wanted to be
like,
the bona fide starter. The bona fide star, and there were other stars on our team. There wasn't just Harper, and he hated that fact. On Philly, can you name another person besides Harper? Because I can't. Reese Hoskins, I think, is their young star, I guess. Reese Hoskins. But other than him, I can't name a single other player on Philly.
I don't know anybody on Philly. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Harper, I think they said Harper had a career year this year.
No, actually, he didn't. Not compared to his MVP year.
Well, they said it was his RBIs were up a little bit, I think.
Oh.
I think his I think he had like a career year in like RBIs and something else. I can't remember what, but it wasn't like enough to carry a team. So I'm
not to throw shade. Cool. I'm really proud of Harper for getting his RBIs up. Just, had to leave a World Series team to do it, but
dude, sometimes people are like, when do you realize you're in the good old days? And I was like, when you're gone, man. When you're gone.
That's very true. But I just closing statement basically on it from a Nats fan's perspective. I'm more shocked because at what we were able to achieve, just due to the fact that nobody, not a single analyst, gave us a chance to win it. Not one. At one point, we had a 0.1% chance to even get to the World Series, much less win it. So,
a couple of analysts actually did pick them once they made it to the World Series, but
no, I mean I'm talking in the playoffs in June. None of us had us getting past the Dodgers. So the fact that we were able to get as far as we did and then just win the whole fucking thing, stunning, mind blowing, something I never thought I'd honestly see as a Nats fan. So very, very, very happy to watch it, and the way we did it, how we had to come back every game in the World Series to do it. Every game we were down and we had to come back to win. It just made it so much better.
True, that does help a lot. It does feel good to come back and win.
Oh hell yeah!
I can definitely say that, especially when you're playing hockey and you're down and you score like 3 goals, and you're just like, oh my gosh, we just came back.
Exactly.
Those moments are lit. Especially when it's a beer league game and you're already drunk and you don't know what's going.
Oh my god.
Dude, I've had some wild times on a bench. It's great.
Apparently, goddamn.
I mean, we just take beer on the bench and and shit. We put them in water bottles too.
All right, Cole. Well, you watched the World Series. Did you have any statements you wanted to make about it?
He's just like, yay, Nats, good job, guys. I'm done.
It honestly sums up Cole's deal process.
Yeah. Good job, Nationals. You won it.
Oh, I forgot you're a White Sox fan. My bad.
Yeah, he doesn't care, dude.
I mean, Nationals are my second favorite team, but...
Well, that's just because they're their hometown team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like,
the White Sox suck, so the Nationals are all I have to root for.
I mean, the Pirates suck too. I just pretend like they don't exist.
Yeah, well, that was me 2 years ago with the Nats, though.
Look, we have 2 teams in Pittsburgh. I just wish we had a basketball team because that'd be way better than our baseball team, even if they won like 15 games.
Oof. Hey, right now, I don't know if you should necessarily count your football team either, though.
Hey, man, just because
you barely beat the Dolphins at home.
We're down to our third quarterback. Mason Rudolph didn't even know where he fucking was after he got hit that game.
This is true.
Like, sorry, dude.
Wow.
We're so screwed.
Oh man.
I don't even think. Okay, so actually, let's just skip the football real quick.
Yeah, I was about to say this is a perfect transition.
I have something to say to this.
Oh boy. Go ahead.
Talking about the Steelers.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people say Mike Tomlin needs to go. Mike Tomlin needs to go. I mean, I think
Mike Tomlin may go to the Redskins.
He's not going to the Redskins. Redskins. Who would do that?
I don't know, but it'd be hilarious.
Themselves to that. That's like,
Hey,
taking-
money,
that's like
man,
jumping into
money.
A bunch of used heroin needles.
I mean, look, money, man. Money speaks every language.
The Steelers could pay him way more.
Maybe.
His extension's up after this year, so I mean, the Steelers
Yeah.
could pay him just way more.
They could, but at the same time, so could the Redskins if they're
That's what I'm
willing.
gonna say.
Go ahead.
And,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I agree with one analyst on it.
Okay.
And his name is Stephen A. Smith. He says,
Oh,
it is unreal to
God.
think, it is unreal to think Mike Tomlin, whose worst
Hell yeah.
record, huh?
Cole loves him.
Oh, well, he's right about this. Mike Tomlin, whose worst team has only ever been 8-8, and that was with a team that stunk. They should not have gone 8-8 when they did. This year, if they go 8-8, it's like a fucking miracle.
Yeah, that would be impressive actually at this
See,
point.
that's what I'm like, this year is a lost year. I'm not saying losing Antonio Brown was a bad thing.
No, it's probably a
It was
good thing. It's
it was a
just
little bit of good, but it was also a little bit of bad because it was. The thing is, like, Juju doesn't really have anybody to throw to him, so we can't like judge him this year on whether or not he's a true number one receiver. Because I'm not joking around. If you put Julio Jones in like a number one receiver in
Yeah.
that spot, you don't know how good he's gonna do because you got the Duck Man and the kid who doesn't know where he is half the time anymore
Yeah.
throwing him the ball.
I mean, I can't really.
James Conner, who's kind of
ahead.
been in and out being hurt.
Yeah.
But he's not getting any help either. You got the defense, who looks like crap. Which
Yeah, your
nitpicking
defense
of
is
Minkah
pretty bad.
Fitzpatrick was
Minka has
pretty
been
good,
great
but-
though.
Yeah, he's been doing good, but just because one person plays well, the defense still kind of sucks.
That's true.
I mean, the Steelers have gone through so much crap recently. Like, you had Shazier get hurt. He's been gone for a while. He was, like, the heart and soul of the old Steelers. Like, he had tradition in him. The
Yeah.
Steeler defense tradition. But after he left, it's like nobody has that tradition anymore, and he wasn't able to pass it on because the man almost died.
True.
He's almost paralyzed. And you see him now, he's up and walking around. I'm like, good job, dude. So happy. But, like, the Steelers, I don't think it's right for people to sit there and, like, yeah, Tomlin hasn't done great as a coach because there's a lot of things he could have done more.
Yeah.
But, like,
Here's the thing.
it's just they give him. I can't say if they have a losing record this year, fire him. I gotta say, let them get healthy again. And if he doesn't take a team that's healthy somewhere, then there's a reason to think about it.
So I understand what you're saying. I really do. And I can understand in a lot of ways why people would want Mike Tomlin fired and for a bunch of different reasons. However, I look at it like this. In the offseason, you came off probably the worst in-game season, drama-based season any NFL team may have ever had in their life, okay? You had Antonio Brown, you had Le'Veon Bell, all that drama that was created over those two. You come off of that season, you lose both of them. That's your entire offense, basically. I mean, yeah, Ben's there, but who's he going to throw it to? Okay, Juju, but at that point, he wasn't, bona fide, 100%, this guy's a star yet, right? And he's still, I wouldn't even still consider, I'd still consider him, like, I wouldn't say he's a star yet either. He still has a lot to prove.
I think he's a good player.
I think he's a great player, but he's had a rough year this year.
He's literally like, also Stephen A. said he's the perfect number 2 receiver. He's literally the
Oh,
best
yeah, he's a
number 2
great-
receiver. And I was like, yeah, no, that's right. But like, I think he could be a. That's
So,
where he,
hold on, Cole. I'll let you get to your point just a second. I just
I
want...
just love hearing people agree with Stephen A.
Oh my
Smith.
God.
Fun for
It's
me.
the most
is it just
disgusting.
because-
It's because of what he says about Aaron Rodgers. It's disgusting. And I will mention that later. But anyway,
smoochy.
exactly. It's disgusting. But here's my point. I also understand.
Or did I get kicked?
Huh? Oh,
I think I got kicked.
I think Austin's having some lagging problems. I'll just continue my point here. I was just going to say that.
I could hear him.
Oh, yeah, I know Austin couldn't hear us though. But can you hear us now, Austin? Are you good? No, he's still having issues. But anyway, my point is that you have Mike Tomlin, who just lost basically his entire offense. He is having to reinvent his offense with 2 brand new players, 2 young players, a young rookie or a young receiver, a young running back who is basically in his second year as a running back. Truly, he's having to he's taken his team with basically no defense, absolutely terrible defense. And
What are we talking about?
well, I'm just talking about why Tomlin is struggling this year, especially. And I'm talking, but he's basically reinventing an offense, and then And then, by the way, after he has to reinvent his offense all on the fly, and by the way, loses his star quarterback on the first week. Like, that's a hell of a lot of things to like go up against. And your defense, by the way, is one of the worst in the league. You can't control that. You don't sign players. You just coach them. You're the coach. You can't sign anyone. So I understand why in previous seasons people would want Tomlin fired. I get that. You had insane talent. You weren't winning Super Bowls with that talent. You had high expectations, high talent. Some of the best. You probably had the number one and maybe the best running back and best receiver in the league at one point on your team. Possibly. And a great quarterback who loves to throw down the field, by the way. That was your team with a decent defense. You should have been winning playoff games. You should have been going to more playoff games, and you weren't. And
they should have beat the Patriots. Like, the Patriots.
Exactly. You should have beat the Patriots a hell of a lot more. And
can't do it.
Exactly. And I understand firing him then. Now it doesn't make sense. He's in a terrible situation with a I'm not saying Juju's bad, and I'm not saying James Conner's bad, but his team is bad. His quarterback is different every week because they get injured every 5 seconds. His O-line is horrendously terrible.
Well, they're not bad as some people, but yeah, they're pretty bad.
And that defense is abysmal besides Minka. So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to fire him until he has at least one season with a team that he has built that actually has potential that doesn't live up to that potential. At least that potential. He should have at least one more season. Now, if the Steelers don't continue him, he's going to be a high priority candidate. He is a very smart coach.
Just because your Redskins want him doesn't.
Look, I'm saying he could go there. I'm not saying I'm not saying he will. He probably won't.
Dude,
but
that's like I said, it's like jumping in to needle.
Look, I get it. It'd be worse than his previous Steelers situation, but
dude, that's like the worst situation you could get to.
Okay, fine, but whatever. My point is,
the Dolphins have a better chance of doing something than the Skins.
Look, point is, if you're gonna fire Tomlin, fire him when you have something to fire him when there's a reason to fire him.
You don't have anything to show when you
exactly. If he has nothing to work with, what is he supposed to put on the field? He's doing his best with the talent he's been given. And the fact that he's actually gotten 3 wins with the horrid talent besides maybe
I mean, they beat the Dolphins for one of them.
They barely beat the Dolphins, by the way. They have 3 wins right now. Or is it just?
Yeah, but they beat the Dolphins.
True. Okay, so 2 wins, technically, and exactly. So I mean, you look at the talent that's on the
Chargers, wasn't it?
And I think so, yeah, which is also a terrible team, but they're not a good team either. So they're not expected to beat good teams.
But they also lost.
But they lost their quarterback, the franchise quarterback. They lost for the season. You can't expect him to just bring a rookie in and have him know the whole offense. Oh, by the way, that rookie gets hurt 2 games later. It's just like you're asking too much from a coach.
The Steelers, 2 of their losses have been to really good teams, thus being the 76ers, who are undefeated. 76, oh my god, 49ers.
49ers, I was about to say 76ers, what?
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Holy hell. And so, yeah, I mean...
The Ravens, who also are playing the Patriots this week, and people think they have a legitimate chance, which I agree, but I really don't know because Belichick is the GOAT.
So, I mean... I agree with what you're saying is that I'm not a Steelers fan by any means, trust me. But firing him this year, and I wanted Tomlin fired when Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown were still there personally. I thought he was a really bad coach still right then. But firing him now doesn't make sense from not only a business standpoint, but like it doesn't make sense from like a team building standpoint.
Blame it on him.
I mean, you're using Tomlin. If you let Tomlin go after this season, you're just using him as a scapegoat for all your own defensive, offensive problems that you've had. Which is not his fault. His team's getting injured all the time.
And just sucks on defense.
And their GM won't sign any defensive players. I mean, look, I can say this. My team is terrible. So at least I can admit my team is terrible. Steelers fans refuse to admit their team is bad besides Austin.
Dude, they suck.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Penguins suck. Like, Pittsburgh sports suck right now.
Like there's Steelers fans, and I feel like Cowboys fans, because their teams are so popular, they just have the hardest time ever refusing to admit their current situation. And I notice it with every popular team, right? You look at all the popular teams. The same thing with the Yankees, the Red Sox. It's the same thing go across all sports. They have the hardest time admitting they have to make changes to their team because they're not in a good situation. And I feel like if you look at some of the Steelers, like if you look at the Steelers Twitter and you go to replies, yeah, they're mad, but they're not calling for Tomlin to go right now. I mean, sure, they'll be mad at the team for sucking right now, but it's not like they're immediately saying, well, these are the problems we have to fix. They're not pointing out the actual issues. They're just calling for Tomlin's head.
Yeah.
Which is just very annoying.
It's chaos. I know you have other stuff to talk about in the NFL.
I do.
My chest.
So there is about 2 weeks of fantasy news that I'm going to wrap up really quickly to kind of put down. So, first of all, Patrick Mahomes, after what was supposedly a 3-week injury, should be coming back this week, which is kind of shocking considering he had his knee dislocated, but that's wild.
Didn't they lose last week?
They did lose, but that was against. Of course, they lost to the Packers. That was against the Packers, who are 7-1, I believe, who are quite good. Yes. Get it out.
So they can
of course.
get back into the race.
Can't have a chance that they don't make the playoffs. That would be terrible.
That would be no, I'm serious.
Catastrophic.
It's like they're driving like a Cadillac and they're about to win the race, and then
Yeah.
it's just like bam, engine's gone.
Flat tire. Exactly.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, pit stop. And then if that pit stop doesn't happen right, they're done.
Yeah, exactly. So another news, the Patriots, Josh Gordon, about 2 weeks ago, got a injury of some type. I don't remember exactly what it was. Anyway, he's going to be out long enough. They waivered him. They put him off the waivers. And then the Seahawks claimed Josh Gordon off of waivers today, so he will be joining that already pretty damn good Seahawks wide receiver core right now. So
will he be able to play?
He will be playing this week. Yes, he will be playing this
They're
week.
going to be good.
Yeah, he will be very good.
This week they're gonna look. I think we'll see a a really good team.
And the Seahawks are definitely a team for the NFC to look at in the playoffs for sure.
Well,
especially with Wilson on his MVP type season right now, which is just wild. You got the Broncos, who just placed Joe Flacco on season-ending IR, so his backups.
Mattered.
No, it didn't matter, but I thought I'd put it out there for anyone who cared.
He's like, all right, if you started Flacco, I mean,
Yeah, if somebody had him, whatever. And all his backups will get a chance to start, I'm sure. This one's actually interesting. It's not really fantasy relevant, but it is relevant to the 49ers. Linebacker Quan Alexander's season is now over. He tore his pectoral, which is a very big defensive loss for the 49ers, who are still undefeated right now.
They're just solid.
Yeah, they're really, really good, but that's still a big defensive loss either way. It's a big linebacker for him. Dwayne Haskins will make his first start Sunday on the road versus Buffalo. This is the other one I was looking. They pretty much are. I mean, at this point,
Because
they don't
Buffalo's
care.
actually not looking bad at all. They might make a wild card.
Oh
spot.
yeah,
Pretty good
and
chance.
their defense is very good, and our offense is very bad, and we know that. And
I think isn't Williams reported finally? Because
Sorry,
he didn't
who?
get traded.
Oh yeah, he reported, but he failed his helmet physical, which I've never heard of before, so he can't play.
Failed that on purpose.
Oh, probably.
I don't feel like playing.
Probably, I would assume so, but he still gets paid because I
I
guess.
mean, yeah, you should have traded him. It's not
Exactly. For
anyone
anyone,
else's fault.
exactly. For owners of T.Y. Hilton, he could miss up to 3 weeks, reports his coach, with a calf injury he got on Wednesday. So if you were a
That's
T.Y.
kinda
Hilton,
big for the Colts.
exactly, that is very big. And he will not be playing in Sunday's game at Pittsburgh, confirmed 100% on that as well.
I mean, obviously, I think the Colts will win that game, but
Yeah, they should.
That does make it a little bit harder to do anything. Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he's Jacoby Brissett's. Can't say his name.
Brissett.
Favorite target. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite target right now. I mean, it's big for him, but that kid's playing good though.
Oh yeah, he is. Ty is having a
looks
great
really
season. Brissett, Jacoby Brissett's playing good as well. if
Yeah,
you were
that's
talking
what I'm
about him.
saying.
Yeah, he's having
Brissett's
a
looking pretty good.
damn good season. They might have to consider actually signing him as a starter. Who knows?
What? Yeah.
Next
he
year,
is.
I think he's bona fide starter material for sure.
I mean,
Considering how well he's played.
He's
Yeah, they're not letting
playing
him go.
starter.
Well, I mean, he was the backup before Andrew Luck went out,
That
so
is true. He did.
I
Get
don't
the
know
call.
if-
He did get the call like, "Hey, man, you're starting now." And
Yeah.
He's like, "What?"
exactly. He just kind of got thrust into it because F it, he had to be. If you own tight end OJ Howard, he has been ruled out for Sunday's game in Seattle. And if you were looking for a running back right now, the Lions are working out Jay Ajayi today, or that was actually yesterday, but they're working him out, and I believe they've actually signed him today because they're in desperate need of running backs since all theirs keep getting hurt.
Yeah, I'm looking at my team and he's getting hurt.
Kerryon Johnson got injured. T.Y. Johnson, the guy who filled in for him, got injured. And I even think the third string running back got injured as well. So, like, there is a lot of injuries going on in Detroit right now. And then just a couple small ones real fast. Will Fuller is still injured. Will be able to play. He has traveled. He will be playing. And then I believe the other one I was trying to find, but I can't find right now. Oh, Matt Breida, who was listed as questionable a couple days ago before his game on Thursday. He sustained an injury during it. Apparently will not have a continued injury. He should be fine. And I believe that is catching up on all the major injuries. But I also wanted to say there was trade talks. If you missed them, the trade deadline happened this past Wednesday or Tuesday.
Yeah, everybody big who was supposed to get traded or should have been traded didn't get traded.
Pretty much. If you had an idea of someone who wanted AJ Green was a massive target on free agency, apparently. Go ahead.
He's just sitting there playing in Cincinnati. Like, get him out, please.
Exactly. What a poor dude, man. What a sad. Of course.
Dude, that's because y'all need somebody.
Yeah, your receiver core looking real thin right now.
Devontae's coming back, so.
Yeah,
right.
but.
True. But basically,
have an issue.
the biggest trades that happened were Jalen Ramsey was sent to the Rams and Aqib Talib was sent to the Dolphins. Other than that, nothing major happened. There were just rumors.
Like, both of those are irrelevant to their teams, honestly.
Not huge additions to either team. I mean,
because the Rams just look bad, and
Yeah.
the Dolphins, we all know what they're doing.
yeah. So I mean, at this point, it's just
First pick.
Dolphins collecting picks and the Rams trying to provide any type of semblance to whatever the hell they've lost over the offseason.
I think I heard the Dolphins have like 15 picks.
Oh yeah, they have something insane this year.
They
This
have
is
like a ridiculous amount of
They have
picks,
traded
like, the first 2
everyone.
rounds.
They have traded everyone they had possible. So it's
Imagine
wild.
All of those rookies come in and they're all like
Awful.
turn out great. No, what if they turn
Oh,
out
great. Yeah, that'd be.
They'd be sick.
Oh my
for
god.
Like 2 seasons.
So they all have to sign new contracts and no, they don't want to stay in Miami anymore.
Yeah, like well, I mean, Miami's kind of nice though.
It is a nice
Like,
state. I
you
mean,
coach and
true.
everything. People
True.
do stay for like weather.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll try and go to like warmer places. Like people go out like, oh, I want to go play for LA, or I want to go play like for a big city like New York or something,
Yeah, exactly.
or I want to go play for the Patriots and win like 15 Super Bowls.
Yeah. I mean, it's been to see what the Dolphins will look like next year is kind of. I'm
They're still gonna be
really.
bad. They're not gonna be good.
I will be shocked if they turn up much better than
I mean, I think they'll
what
get
they
them.
are right now. But before we, did you want to save our pick'ems till the end of the show?
No, let's do that now because.
All
we're not
right,
even
cool.
looking at
Let
it.
me grab the doc real quick.
Dude, I know my picks. Like we did picks 2 weeks ago because we missed last week because of
Yes,
me being sick and on travel.
indeed.
And then next week I again have travel because wedding. I'm very busy. College
man.
sucks.
Sometimes it happens.
So support the channel so I can drop out. Just kidding.
Support the channel so I can drop out. All
Actually,
right.
like it's really nice because I am actually going to school to like work on stuff like this.
Yeah,
So it's like
it is pretty cool.
this is actually like super fun.
Yeah, I bet. All right, so last week we had Dan here, so we will have to just fill in Dan
Dude,
and update the score as
look,
it goes.
We'll go say this about Dan. Dan's picking the Cowboys against the Giants.
I'm
But
going
I think
to.
it's pretty safe. We might all be picking. the
I'm going
Cowboys.
to make sure I keep the score tallied up this time perfectly. All right, so Dolphins Bills, that game we all picked the Bills. In which case, Austin, if you could also wait, no, I have them all picked up here. Never mind. So
I didn't do
the
anything.
Bills all won that game, so all 4 of us get a point.
Man,
Then we had the Jaguars Bengals, in which case Dan and Cole picked the Bengals, and me and Austin picked the Jaguars, in which case the Jaguars won by 10.
Dude, I'm all in on Gardner Minshew.
I think he's pretty cool. I actually like him a lot.
Dude, I heard there was like a report saying he might win AFC Rookie of the what is it? How do they do it?
I think it's off. Well, there is offensive rookie of the year, and there's also defensive rookie of the year, and then there's offensive player of the year, and then there's defensive player of the year.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, rookie. There's that.
There was a report saying like that kid might win.
I
like,
wouldn't be
what?
surprised, honestly. He's having a hell of a year.
I mean,
Although, yeah, that's true. And then we have Vikings Lions. We had myself and Dan picking the Lions, and Austin and Cole picking the Vikings. And the winner of that game was gotta find it. Vikings.
I'm pretty sure it was the Vikings because they have.
Yes, the Vikings. So another one for that.
Don't pick the Vikings anymore.
Feels so good to be right and Ryan be wrong.
That's hilarious that you think that is what is happening.
I'll be dead honest. Kirk Cousins is not gonna play that well for much longer.
So hey, I marked one. So okay, everybody should be at 1 equal now, I believe, because we all have even. Then we had Raiders Packers. We all picked the Packers, and the Packers ended up destroying the Raiders that game.
Lost. Oh my god.
That was a great game.
That was really annoying to see Aaron Rodgers do what he did again.
No, I can't say that. I'm like in trouble.
And then we had the Rams and Falcons. The only person who picked the Rams was Dan. Everyone else picked the Falcons, and Dan was right. Actually, what a call!
Remember, this is 2 weeks ago.
True.
So, but like, think about it. Everybody thought Matt Ryan was gonna have a bounce back game. We were all wrong.
My God, did he look
But
terrible?
now he's hurt, so it doesn't matter.
Matt Moore is the Falcons starter. If you are Falcons players, be careful.
Yeah, you might die, and Ryan's
Just,
got a mouthful of Chinese or something.
Apologies. I very apologize. But if you do have Falcons players, make sure you remember Matt Ryan is starting this week. Not.
He is starting.
Oh no, Matt Moore is starting this week, not Matt Ryan.
I was gonna say.
Apologies. All right, so then.
I don't know. Jimmy G got me 50 points this week.
That's insane, actually.
I mean,
Texans.
he threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a great game Thursday as well. And then we had the Texans Colts. I was the only one who picked the Colts over the Texans, and the Colts won. So once again, I'm right as per usual.
Brissett's looking pretty good.
He is. Niners Skins, 4 for the Niners. Not shocking at all. All to the Niners. And then we had the Cardinals Giants. Cole was the lone person to pick the Cardinals that week, and he was
Right.
right, actually, with one single
he was right.
touchdown win. Congratulations. Yeah, I know. It's pretty shocking to me, too.
Well, I figured in that game since Saquon came back, I was like,
I really thought the Giants were looking better, and I thought they were going to beat the Cardinals, especially because the Cardinals didn't look good right then.
heck.
That's adorable.
But
Yeah,
the Giants have started to fall off once again, which is kind of sad.
mean, they weren't good to begin with.
I know. There's a stretch, though. There was a stretch that they looked decent.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Tennessee and the Chargers. We had myself picking the Titans, and everyone else picked the Chargers, and it was the Titans who win. So once again, Ryan with another fantastic pick. I have to say something
just
myself.
aren't great right now.
Yeah, Austin, you are in last right now.
Hey, it's okay.
And then we had this.
Actually, I'm gonna say this right now.
Yeah.
Before we started keeping score, I honestly only missed like if we were keeping track way ahead of time, it'd be pretty even.
Yeah, probably if you'd been keeping track the whole time, I'll give you that. The next game we had the Saints and Bears, a big game. Me and Cole picked the Saints. Austin and Dan picked the Bears. Their winner was the Saints. Ooh.
The Bears look like shit.
Killed them.
Yeah, that was a little rough game for Mitch Trubisky on that one for sure.
Dude, he needs.
I don't know what they need to do there, but they need to.
They just need a quarterback.
Then we had the Ravens Seahawks. All 4 of us picked the Seahawks. I am so sad about this because I bet on this game later on in the day, picking the Ravens and won.
It was really good.
But that was a hell of a
Big indication.
game. We were all wrong on that one, surprisingly so.
Lamar's
Game
looking
was
good,
annoying.
Yeah, Cole had a rough game on that one. They could not tackle Lamar. The Seahawks defense could not stop him at all.
Good.
And then we had Eagles-Cowboys, a big game in which the Cowboys blew out the Eagles, and Dan and Cole called the Cowboys winning that one, so they will both get a point. I really thought the Eagles were going to step up a bit more, and they completely got destroyed. That was very
Dude,
sad.
Maybe you should have thought about it a little more.
I'm so sad about this next one, I'll be honest with you, boys.
What happened?
We had the Patriots versus the Jets.
What did you think was
did you
going
pick
to
the
happen?
Jets?
And I thought this would be
Damn,
maybe
the
the
Jets.
one game the Jets
Ryan,
might actually win
Ryan, every
against
point
the
you
Patriots.
have, every point you have, subtract it for.
And
Subtract-
I said, look, they always lose one game they shouldn't. I thought maybe with the Jets coming off a big game against the Cowboys, tearing them apart, maybe they'd have a chance, and it was 33-0. And
You
it
heard
wasn't
what
even
you
close.
heard what Sam Darnold said. I'm seeing ghosts.
I'm seeing ghosts after picking the Jets. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, you're seeing. Dude, you need to hold that
Oh
L. That's
man, yeah, that was a hard
Cole, I
L.
make a movement to remove all of his points after.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I don't know about that. I have very, very, very fair picks, I believe. I am.
heavily second this.
You heavily second this.
We'll have to get Dan to approve it.
We only need one more.
So the last pick was technically the Thursday night of last week, which we picked ahead of time with the Redskins Vikings. We had 4 for the Vikings. All 4 of us were
yeah.
correct, of course.
Wow, we got
So-
the easiest one of the week right.
I know, right? What a shocker. So, coming down all to it, I'm very sad to not happy at all to admit that we have Cole in first place with
Oh yeah.
Oh,
one more win than myself and Dan and and Austin in last with 3 less wins than everyone else.
Hey man, can't get them at all.
I'd like to thank the Academy. Also, I'd like to thank Ryan for being a fucking idiot.
I would have been tied if I hadn't picked the Jets!
Dude, you picked the Jets.
I know! Why did I pick the freaking
Everybody
Jets,
picked the
dude?
Patriots. What's wrong with
What the hell? I'm so stupid. I'd be tied for first.
That might have been worse than the butt pummel game for the Jets. Honestly,
Oh
that
my
was so
God.
bad.
Yeah, that was
I
really
mean, are you
bad.
talking about for Ryan? Because yeah,
Wow. Thank
bad
you.
pick.
Hey, I got 3 ones right that you got wrong, Austin. Let's talk about
Okay,
that.
okay, let's just take a minute and let's go back and watch all the other shows and see how many times I got it right before you did.
Why don't we just watch the Jets game again? Because just watch Ryan lose.
I really
Ryan,
don't want to
for
watch that.
For every point,
For
the
every
Jets
interception
score,
Sam Darnold threw, you lose a point.
you lose a point.
Wow.
Wait,
That's
didn't he throw
abs-
4?
Shh.
I think.
Oh, man,
I don't want to be in last place.
You're -1 at this point.
All right, so we did not do week 8. We will skip
I'm just
those
kidding.
and
I did pretty bad in my picks. Real bad.
we will go down to week
Don't
9
worry, boys, I'm not catching up
games.
either.
So technically we've already had Thursday night, so we'll skip Thursday night's game of the 49ers Cardinals. 49ers squeaking by a win against the Cardinals there, which was surprising, but they did get the win nonetheless.
I won't lie. I forgot who I picked for the NBA championship.
Oh no.
I know for a fact I said the Trailblazers looked good, and then
I think I picked the
Damian
Trailblazers.
Lillard-
Probably
to be
picked
honest.
Clippers.
No, I didn't pick. I think I may have picked the Lakers. I have to go back and we'll have to go back and look at it another time. But I know this for sure. I said my initial pick before the season started was I said the Trailblazers because I think Damian Lillard can do it. And then I heard his rap and I was like, never mind. I
I heard
mixtape,
his
I was like,
rap.
nope, just kidding. I heard his mixtape.
Wow.
I was like, nope, nope, changing. I think I picked the Lakers, but whoever I picked the second time is who I'm gonna stick with. So,
So you dropping the Trailblazers? Confirmed?
dude, I dropped. No, I already. Did.
Oh, okay.
I swear to you, I picked another team. I think I picked the Lakers.
Gotcha.
But since the season started, I'm going to say I'm not switching from whoever I picked the second time.
Okay.
But if I didn't pick a second time, I'm not gonna. Well, I kind of want to pick, but I also don't want to be like that
Dude,
guy. It's
it's-
like, oh yeah, I'm a bandwagon on somebody. It's like, nah, bro. Well, I just don't pick the Trailblazers anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Just don't pick the. Oh, to sum it all up. All right, are we gonna go into the NBA topics now, or do you
No,
want to?
no, we need to do our picks for this
All right. So, we have starting out because we're gonna skip this Thursday. We have the Texans Jaguars at 9:30 a.m.
Well,
tomorrow.
that's because they play in London.
Exactly. So
I'm picking the Texans
Texans.
because I think the Texans are a better team than they've been playing the past few weeks.
Yeah, they've been playing a bit rougher than I thought recently.
Throw it to Hopkins.
Yeah,
True.
true.
The Jaguars squeaked out a win against the Bengals, but then I believe they lost
Yo, they
last week, or
They
they actually
squeaked.
kind of, yeah. But they also beat the Jets pretty handily. Then again, the Jets are terrible. So,
I mean, you picked the Jets over the Patriots. I think you
shut
said
up. That was like one time.
that. Just saying.
This is Cole's best dream, by the way, just for the record.
Can't
Um,
be careful.
I
What
love
you say.
how it was the deciding game to give me the
Oh
win.
my god.
That makes it so much better.
God.
All right, next. Go to the
All
next
right,
one.
so we got 3 for the Texans. Just making sure I get that right. All right,
Ooh.
so next game, Bears-Eagles. We have Mitch Trubisky on a rough streak recently.
Oh, dude, I
Trubisky
actually don't
can't
know because both these
play.
teams suck.
These Carson Wentz looks really bad too.
He
Like
is.
I'm not inclined to pick either. The Bears defense doesn't even look that great, which is really shocking.
Yeah, that is the bad part. Like, no, the Bears
Look,
defense. looks
the
good
Chargers
now.
beat the Bears by 1 point. That should say everything you need to know right now.
The Chargers have had so many props here. Phil
Oh
doesn't
my
look the
lord.
same.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
almost time. Like, it's time for him to go. Honestly,
It's
I hate to
definitely.
say it because I do like Phil. Phil is an underrated quarterback for
He
what
is.
everybody gives him. Yeah, we give him credit like every now and then, but he deserves a lot more than he gets. I think
Yeah.
he's really good, but I think
I mean,
he's,
he
like,
puts
kinda
up the
like,
numbers,
he's on the
but this year
downfall.
has been rough.
Well, that's because he has no wins.
So, who are we going with here, boys? Because this is a hard one.
Well, let me pick last.
All right, I will take the first plunge. I'm gonna go. I think the Bears have a comeback game. I think that what's his face, Matt Nagy has been taking it in the fist basically by the media this past week, and I think he's gonna be pissed. And the Eagles haven't shown me really anything this year to give them a win, so I got the Bears.
Eagles.
Cole's going Eagles. There's the split.
Now here's what's hard for me because both the defenses suck. Mitchell Trubisky is not a good quarterback from what we've seen recently.
He was decent last year, but it's like he's falling off a cliff all of a sudden.
Dude, I'll give one person this credit.
What's that?
I've only really heard one person like stick to it that Mitchell Trubisky is not good, and from what we've seen, he's been right.
Oh
Like
no.
I don't like this. I don't like this guy. Skip Bayless actually got this right. I was like, my mind is blown.
I mean,
He's like, they asked Skip, hey, what do you grade the Bears on for drafting Mitchell Trubisky? And he's like, a D-. And I was like, huh. I'm like, yeah, he's right.
well, to be
But
fair,
I'm like, let's grade the Eagles defense. F. I'm like, well, shit. I don't know who to pick.
look at the Bears, right? Their last game they played against the Chargers, they gave up 17 points to the Chargers, who had not done anything against anyone this year, right?
Well, here's the thing, though, because honestly, Carson Wentz is a little bit better than Phillip Rivers right now.
Yeah, probably.
But
Well-
Wentz doesn't have a deep threat right now either.
Well, he has no running back either, and that's another big problem. Also,
It's-
the Eagles' defense, literally, their secondary is the worst in the
Is
league
the
right
worst.
now.
Yeah,
It
that's why
is
I'm like,
the worst.
F.
So I
They
mean,
are F.
if any game was gonna be a Mitch breakout game this year, it would be against the Eagles. That's why I'm picking the Bears.
Because Carson, thing is, Carson can get into a shootout with.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I feel like the Bears defense is much better than it's played recently, though.
I'm gonna go with Cole. I think.
And we have
I
two
think
for
it's
the
gonna get-
Eagles.
I think it's gonna get to a shootout with
All right.
Mitch and Carson. I think Carson outguns him.
You think Carson outguns them? So we got 2 for the Eagles. This could be a deciding factor next week. All right, interesting. Now moving on, Vikings Chiefs.
You said
Big
is
big
playing
game in
this
the
week.
NFC. Patrick Mahomes should be playing in the NFC from everything I've read.
Well, here's another thing though, because Kirk Cousins, like we're not seeing Kirk Cousins be good. We're seeing the teams he's playing be bad.
Yeah, that's true. Look, all I know is Patrick Mahomes is activated officially now, but also all his backups. So if there's any slight indication he's not feeling it, he might not
but they
go.
can-
But he
think they can
should
win
be
with
going.
That's his name, right? Matt Moore.
Matt Moore is his backup, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we've seen them beat the Broncos with them. They beat the brakes off the Broncos.
Well, the Broncos are terrible.
Well, but I mean, the Vikings really aren't that great either.
Here's the thing, Kirk Cousins has looked very good recently.
Yeah, but again, like I said, he literally who are the 3 teams he played?
Yeah, they haven't been that great
No,
defenses.
I'm saying actually name. Like I know he played the.
Oh,
He got the Lions. in the
Last week he
league.
played the 2 weeks ago he played the Lions. I'm not sure who he played
3
last
weeks
week.
ago, I'm pretty sure he played the Redskins.
I believe.
that was
Yeah,
last
last week he played the Redskins. 2 weeks ago he played the Lions, and then before that he played the Eagles. All with bad
so it's like-
defenses.
Oh, defense.
Horrible defenses, pretty much.
But what happened when he played good defense?
Well, at the same time, they also weren't throwing as much when he was playing good defenses, so it's kind of give and take. Plus, the Chiefs' defense isn't great.
No, they're not great. So it's like, but also if Mahomes is good, Mahomes can outgun him any day of the week.
Obviously. But
So it's like this is another toss.
I think the Vikings' defense is a lot better than the Chiefs in many ways.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. But
And just for the record, in case this matters, it is in Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Cole automatically picks the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs could win regardless of who's starting at quarterback.
Really?
I right on.
All right. So we got.
Viking defense isn't great either. They're not the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the offense is built enough to like have a.
Mahomes tends to play really good in daytime games and kind of a little bit less in the prime time, and he's playing in the at mid like 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna go Chiefs on this one because I think
we're all gonna go Chiefs.
I think he's gonna do a lot better in the what do you call it, the prime time, or not the prime time slot, in the
the
daytime.
afternoon.
Yeah, the afternoon slot, right? Good. All right, so then we move on. Colts and Steelers.
I got the Colts
Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow
because
suit.
the Steelers defense sucks and Brissett's just gonna ruin them.
Yeah, I don't really see how the Steelers possibly win this. Their defense isn't good enough.
Ben's still hurt. Supposedly Mason Rudolph's gonna start.
Ben's out for the season, my guy.
Yeah, I know he's not gonna play.
Oh, I just didn't know.
That's
Okay,
the
I was
point.
making sure you knew.
How's the
Call
Colts
of
run
Duty.
defense?
Run defense? It's actually not that high. Their
And
pass
James
defense is
Conner's
much
out
better.
because he's not gonna. They really think he's not gonna play tonight.
I'm not entirely sure what the Colts' run defense is. I just know that their pass defense is much better than their run defense, but I can check that out real fast.
I really don't think James Conner's playing.
Okay, so actually,
reported doubt-
the Colts are the fourth
Yeah.
best run defense in the league. So never
Colts.
mind. All right, 3 for the Colts. So moving on, we have the Jets and the Dolphins.
God.
I
both-
know.
Oh,
This
Jets
is the
are
one
supposed to
game
throw this
the
game
Jets
and
could
get
win.
through this game and get first pick. They could throw this game and get first.
It's certainly possible.
Dude, I mean, I'm serious. Like they should have just traded. They should have just traded Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Gotten some like absolute running back
Oh, we really should have.
and just like told them, all right, look, just dive at the line every time. Every time.
I'm not sure if they went to get Le'Veon just because they wanted to build something around Darnold, but they have no O-line.
Well, I think they thought like, oh, this could be a year for us. Like we've got a good quarterback. They thought.
They
Keyword
thought.
Well, they're like, oh, we got a good quarterback. We got a
Yeah.
good running back. That's all we really need. And our defense isn't too bad. And they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Very disappointing year for them, I gotta be honest.
No,
I think it starts with their head
kinda
coach
figured
because their
they weren't gonna be
offense is
good.
they have no receivers at all. Robbie Anderson's their best receiver. He's a WR2 on most teams at best.
I can't think of a reason to give either of these teams an edge. Like, there's nothing. There's
Dude,
nothing I
it's
like
like-
about either team.
Well, the Jets
have to-
did beat the Cowboys.
Well, no, I'm gonna say this much though.
That
I'm
one's
gonna
a bit
pick
of an
the
outlier.
I'm gonna pick the Jets
True.
solely for the fact that
Yeah.
we saw the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins were beating Pittsburgh 14-0 at one point, right?
Yeah, they were at
So-
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but so what happened when they called it when they were at like I'm pretty sure they were like in Pittsburgh territory. They called like a jailbreak blitz.
Oh, for the love of God, I have no idea why they did this. I
well,
still
no,
don't know.
it's just proof they're tanking.
No, I know. The Dolphins literally gave up a
gotta pick the Jets.
50-yard touchdown for no reason at all.
I gotta pick the Jets because when it's 3rd and 10, you call a jailbreak. It's like, or what was it, cover zero? It's just like, yeah, what's the point?
I can't. Is this in? Yeah, okay. So this is in Miami.
Guess
That's
I'll
what I
pick the
thought.
Jets.
So
I'm with Cole. I really don't want to pick this
I
one.
might have to pick a tie. Now I'll go with
I
the
might have to pick a tie. Okay, so I'm gonna go.
Basic.
I'm gonna do the dumb thing again this week.
Don't pick the Dolphins. You know it's not gonna work. They're legitimately trying. They are trying to go 16-0. Or 0-16.
Uh,
I'm giving you legitimate reason.
Yeah,
Like, I'm trying to help.
all right. You know what? Fine. I'll pick the Dolphins. Only because. Only because.
He was telling you to.
I
pick
mean, the Jets. The Jets.
I was
Fuck.
gonna say.
Sorry, I said the wrong word. I'm only picking the Jets because the Dolphins don't have any talent, and the Jets at least have some talent.
We
So
have
that's
something.
literally
One
my.
talented player.
And now we get an even better game. Redskins Bills.
Dude, the Bills.
Bills.
If the Redskins win, I'll be.
3 for
I'll
the
just
Bills
straight
right
be
there.
blown away.
I'd be stunned
be
if the Bills, if the Bills' second ever loss besides the Patriots comes to the Redskins, their season is done. Period.
All right, what's next?
Titans Panthers.
Fuck, dude. I don't know.
Panthers. But again, this might be the most boring game of the week. I think I'd rather watch Jets Dolphins than this.
Well, I don't.
If
I
it
don't
helps
know
at
why-
all,
Just to see how much McCaffrey can do.
True. If it helps at all,
Dude,
it's
I don't-
at Carolina.
I still don't.
I don't
Both
think
these
that
teams
helps
are
much,
good.
but I mean McCaffrey is the only reason the Panthers are good.
Yeah, but he's probably enough to carry them past the Titans. Honestly.
Probably. They do have Ryan Tannehill, who has looked better. I'm not saying he's good, but he has looked better than Mariota. So I mean, it's an improvement, I guess.
I'll pick the Panthers.
I'm still going the Panthers because I don't see how the Titans' defense or offense is enough.
McCaffrey's just enough.
I don't. All right, this one's actually a good game. Lions Raiders.
Watch McCaffrey get injured in the first quarter.
Then it's just over.
I'm gonna go Lions because the Lions actually don't look too bad. They
Who
just
are they playing?
they have a
Raiders.
tough schedule.
Lions Raiders.
They just have
The
legit
Raiders.
tough-
Raiders. All right, so we got one for the Lions, one for the Raiders. Austin goes for the Lions. Cole for the Raiders. And I'm going to go... the Raiders have looked better recently. I think... They kind of like... To me, they're both equally the same. They both should be
equally
doing...
bad and good.
Well, they're both doing worse than they should be, but they look really good
Yo, but
sometimes.
The Lions have a harder schedule.
Yeah.
The Lions play like
Also, I believe the Lions
good.
had a major injury. Also, they have no running backs right now. That's a big
yeah, but
problem.
Matt Stafford's fine.
And Matt Stafford's
I-
playing
I-
like
I
a
can trust
god.
him.
I'm gonna go.
I can trust him.
I'm gonna actually go against my
I trust-
quarterback this week and go with the Raiders. I'm gonna follow Cole, which is very weird for me to do.
Ugh,
Yeah, and it doesn't feel good either. I know. All right, Buccaneers Seahawks.
Seahawks. The Bucks are trying to tank too.
Jameis Winston's
Russell.
coming back, boys.
Russell, I need 50 this week.
50.
Yeah, he
Good
needs Jimmy G
Lord.
numbers because that's what I got.
All right, Cole's favorite matchup of the week: Packers Chargers.
Packers.
Yeah, I don't see how Chargers possibly win that one.
Who's even in the Chargers secondary?
Don't they still have what the hell's his name? That really good corner, but I
Derwin
can't.
James?
Him, but there's also another one, and I
Isn't
can't
he
remember his
injured?
name. I can't remember his name right now, and it's gonna make me mad.
Probably.
I really can't remember his name, and it's making me mad. That's annoying. Defense, D. Casey Hayward, that's it. Desmond King and Casey Hayward.
Deadass looked that up.
Literally had to look it up. I literally could not remember that to save my life. And
I'll take and destroy them if he's healthy enough.
okay. All right, so we all three picked the Packers. Now on to Browns Broncos.
Oh, God.
You know, I don't know.
There's some rough matchups this week, boys.
Who's even the Broncos quarterback? Flacco's out.
Do you want me to tell you? Because you won't know his
I
name.
don't even think I'm going to
Yeah, go
recognize
ahead,
his name.
honestly.
I don't think I'm
The
gonna
Broncos quarterback is Brandon Allen.
Who?
No.
The guy who went... No, Josh Allen went to Wyoming.
No. Brandon Allen is the fifth string that got signed from the practice squad off of the Steelers.
Oh.
They're not even starting their brand new rookie that they got in the 5th round, apparently, for some reason.
Is anyone injured on the Browns?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, but Nick Chubb's gonna run all over that defense.
Odell's unhappy probably where he's currently.
Please do that, Nick. Swear to God. if
Broncos
you fumble
defense is
another 80 yards,
abysmal.
I'll kill you.
This game is.
If he fumbles another 80-yard run, I'll kill him.
All right, look. So you got the Cleveland Browns who are 2-5 at the Denver Broncos who are 2-6.
The Browns win.
I think the Browns win, but I think only because the Broncos don't have a quarterback. Even with Flacco, they don't have a quarterback, so I got the Browns.
I mean, yeah, give me the Browns.
This is horrible. All right, now this is the game we're all been waiting for. Patriots-Ravens, boys.
Patriots.
I'm gonna pick Patriots solely because
May I remind you all, this is in Baltimore.
See, okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, hit us with it.
So, the team that dominates the Patriots from the AFC North is always Baltimore.
Yep.
But the last time they were able to do that was when they had their defense core together.
True.
So there's no Suggs, there's no Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, there's nobody there to dominate Tom Brady like they used to.
I mean, but.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Lamar's good,
Very good.
but what is Bill Belichick better than any other coach at doing?
Beating rookies.
Beating the shit out of rookies.
Technically, he's not a rookie. He's a sophomore. But same premise. I get what you're saying.
It's like, Belichick can sit there. He can create the lowest scoring Super Bowl if he needs to. He can do this week.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I 100% believe Belichick could easily win this game if he really wants to. But
he wants to, because I think he honestly is like, if I lose Brady and this kid sticks around and thinks he can beat me, he goes, I'm screwed. He's
that is a good point.
Putting him in the dirt this week.
That is a good point. Here's the thing, though. The Ravens' defense has actually been a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. If you look at the game against the Seahawks, they played the hell out of that game against Russell Wilson. They probably gave him...
Give up 7 points a game.
I understand.
But also the Patriots defense. No, the Patriots defense is not.
Here's something you got to remember, Cole, though. They just lost Josh Gordon. That's a big target gone. Julian Edelman's going to have to do... Sorry, what?
He wasn't playing anyway.
He was playing. He just wasn't getting thrown to because he was out there to be an imaginary target for Brady, just to distract defenses. That's his whole thing.
They were not game planning around like, oh, Brady's gonna throw it to Gordon.
No, they weren't gonna game plan around that. But at the same time, he was still a target. He was like Gronk. When half the time they wouldn't even use Gronk, he was still there.
Nah, they're not. I'm not too worried about this.
Look, go ahead.
The Patriots win solely for the fact that it's Brady. Brady's got his defense hasn't played anybody better than I think the 21st ranked offense.
Okay, that's true.
We don't know how well the Patriots defense is yet, but I think
they did have a hard game.
Come out party.
They did have a really hard game recently. I can't remember. I think it was last week that the Pats played. Right. So not last. Actually, the Browns. And granted, this is terrible conditions in Foxborough, but the Browns actually put up a decent fight against the Patriots, surprisingly. And if you remember back to when the Patriots played the Bills in Buffalo, they only won by 6. When they played decent defenses, and those defenses have stopped them and stuff and given them hard games, the Patriots don't look so great on offense. And if the Ravens
offense doesn't look that good.
And granted, yes, the Patriots defense is astoundingly better than it has been in previous years. Do not get me wrong. But I think with the ability to scramble like Lamar has, and with Mark Ingram and all his, Mark Andrews and all Lamar's targets.
Mark Ingram, are you kidding me? That man is old.
Yeah, but he's still balling. Have you seen the numbers he's still putting up?
No. No. I'm not letting you have that one.
No? You're not going to let me have that one? Are you serious?
No.
He's still doing good. For an old dude who's coming to the league. Okay, fine, whatever. But...
Because think about it this way.
All right.
What is Belichick going to tell them to do? Hey, you're going to have to beat us through the air.
Yeah.
You're not going to be allowed. He's going to stack the box.
Yeah.
He's going to leave a linebacker to spy him.
Of course.
And he's not going to. He's going to have to throw the ball. Yeah, Lamar's good at throwing a ball. But Belichick is great at disguising. I can't speak.
Of course.
Disguising his coverages.
Look, is this going to be Lamar's toughest game? Of course. But
Absolutely.
do I think he has the ability to win this game? with the talent that he has shown, especially with beating that Seahawks team in Seattle. That was one of the most impressive wins I've ever seen from one of a young quarterback. That shit was impressive, and that was in the rain too. I think, especially at home, this crowd, it's going to be hard pressed for Belichick. It's going to be a hard game for the Patriots. You guys are underestimating this team.
No, I still think the Ravens. I think if the team's going to win, it's going to be the Ravens. But I don't think they do it.
Last time we did this, I picked the Jets to beat the Patriots. I was way off on that, clearly. But I think I'm gonna go.
That's why we don't trust you right now.
I know.
Again, aren't you?
I want to hear your pick first.
I'm picking the Patriots.
Okay, so you both are
It's not
picking the
gonna be a
Patriots.
blowout, but
No,
I just. It's the Patriots.
It's the Patriots.
it's Belichick and Brady, the best duo to ever
Yeah,
play the
true.
game.
I don't know if Lamar is good enough at throwing yet to
He's
beat.
probably
He's
not. He still
good.
makes some unwise throws, but his decision making in the
But
pocket, when
that's
to
gonna be the
escape.
difference in this game.
I know, but his decision making in the pocket, like when to escape, he's so next level. He's shown that it's like
Patriots are gonna make him panic, and then he's gonna fuck up.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna. I think he's gonna have a lot more confidence than he think he will, especially after that win against Seattle. That was a big confidence builder for him. I'm putting it down.
Their
Ravens
defense isn't
beat
100%.
the Patriots this week, prime time. It's
still
happening.
It's still not outlandish to pick the Ravens.
I know it's not outlandish. I'm just saying this is the game. I think if it wasn't the Jets, it's gonna be a hard-fought game against the Ravens. Then
But like I said, they're supposed to. The Patriots lose a game they're not supposed to.
exactly, that's
This
true.
game they're like semi supposed to lose. So I'm like, yeah, they're gonna win.
I'm not
What do
gonna
the Patriots
argue that.
have on their schedule the rest of the season.
Oh, they have this third. They have the easiest schedule.
They go through their second round in their own division, I believe. I know they have the Bills. They have
So they have the
Dallas.
Eagles, Cowboys, Texans, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Dolphins.
I think they'll probably lose to the Chiefs.
That's very viable, and
We'll-
they
we'll
could
see. I
also
think
lose
that
to
was
the.
in Foxborough.
They could also lose to the Texans as well. That's definitely possible. If the Texans, although they did just lose J.J. Watt, which is killer, but
Yeah, that is pretty. All right, but let's go to the next one. We know
last and well, second to last game. So we have the Monday Night Football game, Cowboys Giants.
I mean, I feel like the Patriots game and Ravens game should be the Monday night game, but okay.
It's not. I'm sorry. It's
I know,
Sunday
I mean,
night.
We picked a shitty game for Monday night.
Hey, it's what it is, man. It do
All
be
right,
like
all
that.
right. Everybody make a pick because
It's gonna be. By the way, I know a lot of you will probably think it's in New York, not in Dallas.
Who gives a shit?
It makes a
don't care
difference.
about that.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference.
As
Not in this because the Giants.
I'm going
suck.
Giants.
Saquon can't save them.
I'm going Giants.
Are you really?
I'm going Giants.
Please don't be like this.
Oh, 100%. I'm going Giants. This is the game where this is what's his face's what's Daniel Jones coming out party.
I thought he already had that.
Well,
Yeah.
they hyped him up from 1 to 2 games and they act like he's Jesus. This is the game where he gets like blows up. This is the game.
No.
Yep. 100%.
Okay, so Cole and I are going Cowboys like
Oh my
sane
God.
people.
Exactly. Saquon
Disgusting.
can't save them.
He
Dude,
can.
Saquon is a
Daniel
next
Jones is
generation back. Saquon is a transcendent talent, but that's one thing he cannot do is carry a team by himself.
What does scare me is the fact that the Patriots did trade Martellus Bennett to the Cowboys, which boosts that D very highly. That is
Yeah.
very worrisome. So that's
Yeah,
putting
so,
a hard
there's
pick in
that.
jeopardy.
Who's
That
gonna
is
stop Zeke?
probably no one. But at the
Exactly.
same time, the Cowboys defense is very rough and up right now
Amari
too.
Cooper.
Who's gonna stop Daniel Jones? Who's gonna stop Saquon Barkley?
Literally everyone.
Cowboys
Okay, so
defense.
Saquon, I don't know. But
Hey,
Daniel Jones,
how many times the Cowboys?
They'll score 2
Hey,
touchdowns.
the Cowboys lost to the Jets. They lost to the Jets.
Yeah, but
they're
that was
not gonna
because
let that
they-
happen again.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's
okay.
because they underestimated the Jets. I really think they
Underestimated the
underestimated-
Jets. Okay.
Dude, they really did.
They did.
They just didn't show
They've
up.
also lost 3 other games, by the way, or 2 other games, by the way, not
Yeah.
just the Jets.
They're not
The
losing to the Giants.
When they lose to the Giants, Cole.
The Cowboys did not lose to the Cardinals.
No, but
Can
The
you
Giants
even name a
did.
Giants receiver? Can
Yeah.
you? Who?
they have Sterling Shepard.
Don't they have
Okay.
Golden-
And the
no,
Cowboys have Amari Cooper.
somebody else.
I mean, that's very true.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna say this right now.
They have other Golden Tate. Golden Tate.
Oh, they're
thought
not
they had
beating the Cowboys.
They're not beating
Not beating the Cowboys.
All right.
Just make us seem like
No, I'm not. I'm literally think the Giants can beat the Cowboys. I have 100%. Well, not 100. I have 85% faith that the Giants can beat the Cowboys.
If they could not beat the Cardinals, they are not beating the Cowboys.
The Cowboys lost to the Jets. Everything else, I don't need to say a thing.
The Cowboys are gonna make the playoffs. They're not gonna.
No, they're
lose to
not.
Giants.
The Cowboys are not
They
making the
are.
playoffs. The only reason they
They're
make the
gonna win the
playoffs,
East. They're gonna win the
the
East.
only reason they make the playoffs is if the Eagles cannot do a thing to stop them.
The Eagles. They destroyed the Eagles.
That was
They're
a
gonna do it
that was a
second time, most
blimp, a
likely.
gimmick, a fluke.
The gimmick was losing to the Jets. That was the fluke.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That may have been a rough. All right. We have to pick the Thursday night game for next week. Chargers Raiders.
Oh fuck! Raiders.
I don't even want to watch
I
it.
don't even want to
Watch
watch. Oh, come on.
So boring.
Not boring.
It does sound pretty bad. Honestly.
What is there to watch?
We got
Phillip
Phillip Rivers,
Rivers,
Derek
struggle.
Carr.
Yeah,
Phillip
Derek
Rivers
Carr throw to
struggle.
who?
That tight end, Darren Waller.
That's about it. So five.
Wow.
Yeah.
Such haters. I got the Raiders.
Give me the Chargers. I don't know why. Just give me the Chargers.
Ooh, all right.
Where is it? Well, I mean, actually, it really doesn't matter. They're like right beside each other.
Where is it? It is in Oakland.
I'm just taking
Chargers have a run game, I guess.
Kinda.
the Raiders. Just I don't.
I mean, they're just there.
So who are you
Well, I
picking,
mean, so are
Austin?
the Chargers, dude.
Yeah, but the Chargers have good running backs.
Yeah, but
The Chargers
eh.
don't have a defense though, and the Raiders kind of do.
I don't know
Ish.
anything about the Raiders this year at all.
That said, you don't watch any afternoon games. You're always watching your Packers.
All right.
Really sorry.
Cole, did you pick, or Austin, did you pick the Chargers or the Raiders?
I picked the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Got it. Ooh, once again, Cole's alone. Shocker. All right, there it is. Those are our last. All right, so just to recount, just real quick. Week 7, Cole finished 1 win above me and Dan, and Austin
yeah,
finished
dude.
three
I'm in
behind.
last.
Austin's in last. And those we will find out who comes in what place next week's podcast. There we go. Get that down. All right, on to your favorite segment, the one you guys have been waiting to get to for so long.
Haha. Now
Cap.
you shut up right now.
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
So, Cole, what happened last week? Or actually, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. What happened last week, Cole?
The NBA started.
Yeah. What did we get to see opening night?
Who played opening night?
Oh, man.
I was waiting for the Bulls to play.
Oh, he's waiting for his team to play. No, we had the
Shocking.
battle for LA the very first night. and I
Oh
think that was
yeah,
great.
the Clippers.
I think that was a
destroyed
great.
the
I think that
Lakers.
was
Who won that game?
Yeah.
Actually, I really don't know.
the Clippers.
Really?
The Clippers won. Yeah. They
Wow.
only won with Kawhi too. They didn't have PG. Paul George is still recovering.
Impressive.
But also the Lakers didn't have Kuzma either, and they finally got Kuzma back last night, which was Friday night. I was at hockey, so I didn't get to watch the game, so I was kind of sad. Because I wanted to see how Kuzma was going to play and fit in with the Lakers, and it actually went really well. They came back. They were down by like 12, 13 at one point. Came back. Danny Green hit a buzzer beater to tie the game.
Hey, way to go, Danny.
Yeah, dude, Danny's fucking killing it.
He's been on fire this year.
He is lights out.
Really?
Right now.
He had like
Good for
26
Danny.
in the opener.
Yeah,
What?
Dude, he carried
Damn.
the Lakers in the opener.
It's the only reason that it was a
Well-
close game until the fourth quarter.
Good for you, Danny.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, actually, I'm also going to say this about that. Because I did want to talk about the opening night game with the Battle for LA.
Okay.
LeBron was not aggressive at all. He wasn't driving to the hoop. He was mainly just trying to get passing down.
Really?
So yeah, dude. It was like I did get to watch some of the game because I had work the next day, but I only got to watch until the half. But even only watching through the half, you could tell LeBron's getting old. But
He played 36 minutes and only had 20 or 18 points, not 20.
yeah, that
18.
that was opening night. But he also had
Wow.
like 11 assists.
Yeah, he had
So it's
almost a
like-
triple double, almost.
Yeah, so I mean, like he wasn't. No, but my point is, he wasn't being aggressive.
Okay.
Like he wasn't driving to the hoop. He wasn't driving and kicking. It was feed Anthony Davis the ball, feed Anthony Davis the ball, which is a bad play because the Clippers being a strong defense.
Well, Anthony Davis is like the young version of LeBron, isn't he?
No, not
No?
even close.
That's what I've been
Shows your
told.
NBA knowledge.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Butt out of this conversation for a couple minutes. And we'll let you back in,
Okay,
baby.
okay.
This is like a club, okay? You're not allowed in right now.
All right. God damn, the hostility.
You're just so anti-NBA this year. For
No, I just
no
okay.
reason.
I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna
chill,
do it.
chill,
I'm not
chill,
gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
We'll do it later. But so what I'm trying to say is though, because Anthony's been playing like a big post game this year, like a pick and roll game with LeBron. They didn't really do that the first night. The thing is, I really think, from what I've seen, just from the two teams playing, like their separate games after the first one, the Lakers look serious, like
Yeah.
good. They're playing defense. I think LeBron walked out with like 4 steals last night.
Yeah,
Damn.
After the opener, he was just like, okay,
Dude,
I
he's
gotta
playing-
score, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I think last night he had a triple double last night. He scored 39, and it was like a couple. I think it was like 2 10s or something like that, just a little bit above it. But that was against Dallas, and Dallas having the 2 unicorns being the freak that is
and
Luka.
Porzingis.
And
Well, that was an OT though.
yeah, but he took over.
Oh
In
yeah, I see what you
overtime,
mean.
Anthony Davis and LeBron combined for 15 points,
Oh yeah, you're right. Wow.
and LeBron hit a dagger for a 3
Damn,
from
he had.
like Steph Curry range.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
It was a step or 2 off the line. It wasn't like super deep, but it was enough. And he
Yeah.
hit it right in Luka's face.
Wow, that is.
So like, my thing is for the Lakers to be good this year, they need to have that from LeBron. They need to be able to have Danny Green hit clutch threes, Anthony Davis give them almost 40 consistently.
Damn, that is
Dude,
a lot to ask.
he had the quickest to 40-20
Now look,
already this year.
I admit I'm not the most up to date on my NBA knowledge. Okay, I haven't followed it particularly year by
I
year,
know
but
I'm
haven't.
sucking off the
But
Lakers right now, but they
I-
just like they're impressing me.
I understand.
They're
I
first in
get
the
it.
West.
But here's my question to the NBA fans who are clearly here, who I'm talking to. Hasn't LeBron been kind of more mellowed out these past few years?
Not after the first game.
Okay, not this
No.
first game. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the past few years in the
years,
NBA.
yeah.
Like last year, it seemed like he didn't even care, like
Well,
at
dude,
all.
imagine
And
if-
I understand why, but hasn't that been like his downward trend, sort of?
Well, no, that's because last year the reason he got hurt in quotation. I put that in quotation marks because I think
Hurt.
he milked it a little bit more.
Ah, okay.
No, he did get hurt. There
Oh,
was
okay.
like legitimate groin injury, but he made it last a little bit longer than it should have, in my
Right.
opinion. And he's like, I'm activating playoff mode. It's like, okay, he's trying to put a facade on and kind of like, oh, I care about these kids. You know, honestly, he
Right.
probably didn't really care about those kids. He only wanted Kuzma, which, by the way, Kuzma played really well for being like the 3rd or 4th option.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, dude. He came in. He said he's only going to play 20 minutes. That's it.
Yeah,
He
he
came in,
played
he put some
19.
buckets in. That's what they need.
9 and 19. That's not bad.
Yeah, he is the 3rd option. He has to be willing to do that if he wants to win.
I'm seeing
Anthony
that.
Davis is going to be the number 1 option. LeBron is going to take the back seat so far and be the number 2.
So just looking over their few games, like the past few games, because I haven't watched at any of their games to be completely honest. But looking at their past stats wise, it seems to me that at least for the most part, it's been the Anthony Davis and LeBron James
yeah,
show,
no.
mainly
That's what
entirely.
they are.
Which obviously it's gonna be that. Obviously, I get that, but. For the most part, it's honestly just been the Anthony Davis show from what I've seen. I mean, he's been, for majority of his games, putting up all the points, besides
The game in
yesterday.
Memphis, it was he is the fastest. He is the player to reach the 40-20 mark fastest.
40-20, what's that,
40,
Mark?
40 points, 20 boards.
rebounds.
Wow, that is actually insane. Wow.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
his game, dude. Like,
Damn.
the Lakers look pretty good, but like looking at some of the teams they played, yeah, they've played. I mean, they played one hard team so far. Well, I'd say 2 because the Jazz were supposed to be hard, but the Lakers playing stifling defense like they did look good.
Well, aren't the Mavericks considered to be a better team this year?
That was no,
They're
that
better.
they're
Okay.
supposed to be quote unquote better. And
Gotcha.
honestly, like they're a little bit better than the Jazz right now
Right.
because they've got more offensive power than the Jazz, and they've
Okay.
got a lot of height on the team.
Gotcha.
So last night was the real like first test for the Lakers, and in all honesty, they passed. They did pretty good. I'd
So
give it
you,
to them.
so you're giving them a +1 right now,
I'm
basically.
not even a +1. I'd say like if I had to grade them right now, they're not like they're messing up a few things, but that's just chemistry issues from
Right.
adding in Kuzma.
Okay.
Probably sitting at like a B. B
I
plus.
got
So-
an A-.
You got him at an A-. That's a high grade from you. Okay, so given both
Well, who's
LA
playing?
teams, how you've seen them at the start of the season, who's doing better right now?
Lakers.
The Lakers have a
okay.
better record, but the Clippers have played more games.
Okay.
Well, the Clippers also lost to the Hornets.
I mean, but the Clippers
That's
did
never a
beat
good
the
thing.
Lakers.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I mean, sure, yeah, you win one game. LeBron, but that's what I'm. Whenever I was talking earlier, LeBron's not being aggressive enough. He
Right.
didn't drive to the hoop like at all. He had 18.
Okay.
He had 18 points.
Now, I noticed Kyrie hasn't been having the start to the season he probably wanted. Doesn't seem to be blowing
team's
people
not that
away. The Nets, right?
Yeah, their team's
Yeah.
not that good.
I mean, yeah,
He doesn't have Kevin
he's
Durant.
really
Obviously.
tired.
He's missing
they
Kevin
won last
Durant,
night.
obviously,
They beat the Rockets.
which is a big win, obviously, considering how well it looks like James Harden and Russell Westbrook are meshing. And
That is actually it surprised me how well they're playing together. But
I did catch
it's
one
gonna last
game
long.
of the Rockets, and here's the one thing I saw, because I watched them right after the Nats won the World Series, and they're kind of playing simultaneously. That Game 7 and the Rockets and the Wizards, I think, were playing at the same time. And so I was watching the Rockets play, and they went to like almost quadruple overtime, something, or maybe it's only double overtime, but something ridiculous like that. And they put up the most points in a single NBA game in regular time ever.
in regulation.
Yeah, in regulation time, and Harden had something like 59 points or something ridiculous, and they look so, especially Westbrook and him, but those two look so, what's the word? Chemistry. Their chemistry was so on point. They look so well meshed
Well,
together.
They like playing each other. They like playing with each other.
Say
Who
what?
said that? Who said that they were going to be fine chemistry-wise? Who said they were going to be terrible chemistry?
I'm just saying, I'm shocked that those two people who are generally known as hot-headed people are
Well, it's
working
also
together so
their,
well.
Player usage is both through the roof. Like they're the
Well,
1 and 2 player.
yeah.
You didn't expect that to go well.
I didn't expect when I heard that when James Harden and Russell Westbrook were going to be on the same team. I didn't expect those two, especially considering for the most part the past few years James Harden has been the point guard and had to do almost all the shooting, and Russell Westbrook is known as the guy who wants to shoot. That's why KD left. Remember, he had wanted to be the ball hog. I didn't expect those two to mesh together so fast and so well as they are.
Well, it's
They
more
both
or
have the
less,
same type of personality, is what I'm
Westbrook.
saying.
Yeah, but Westbrook came in knowing it's like this isn't my team. I don't get to call the shots. He's like He's like this is James's team. I get to play second fiddle, and he seems to be
Right.
okay with that right now. But I'm only gonna say he's okay with that because they're playing well enough, and he's like, oh, well, over time we'll win more games. I think if they really start losing, I think it's gonna be a problem.
That would
He's
be.
still putting up stats.
He is
Yeah,
putting up
I
stats.
agree.
Don't get me wrong. It's surprising to me to see them not having any drama yet and still together
It's
working
early to-
so
I think, saying
meshing
they're gonna
together
have
so
drama.
well. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit later
But-
when they start having issues.
Honestly, like, if I'm thinking about best team in the West right now, it's like I'm saying it's the Lakers followed by the Clippers. They're gonna be fighting for first and second all year.
Okay.
If both of them keep playing the way they do, I think Kawhi is already sitting out games. From what I heard, I think the game they lost, he sat out.
He's sitting
lost
out
2
games
games.
already. Wow.
Well, yeah, but I know they lost to the Hornets and who else?
So the
forget-
Clippers lost to the Jazz and the Hornets.
I think it was the game against the Jazz. He sat out.
Yeah,
But-
he did not have any stats for that game.
Yeah, so that was the one he sat out. But he was on the court when he lost to the Hornet, and the Hornets are garbage.
That's not. Yeah, he had 30 points in that
Whereas
one, but
LA
no one else seemed to do anything.
beat the
the
Hornets.
Lakers. Who'd they lose to?
Or
Who'd they
sorry,
lose
not the
to?
Hornets.
Lost to the Suns and the Jazz.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the
Suns.
By the way, the Suns are beating.
And-
I don't know how.
The Suns are 2-1, right? Oh wait, no, sorry, that was before. The Suns are
Phoenix is 3-2.
3-2.
They've beaten some people
Is
though.
surprising.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd be this good.
Okay, so you
Booker's
two knowing
carrying.
the NBA as you two do, which is currently, I mean, it's very early in the season. Most teams have only played 5 games, but what is the biggest surprise to you so far?
The Warriors suck.
Ooh, the Warriors have been rough.
1-4
I
so
honestly
far.
thought-
They're not
Well,
gonna make the playoffs.
And Steph Curry is out for how long? Steph Curry is out for a few months now.
They said
3 months.
It was okay. So his injury, actually, I broke it playing baseball.
Oh yeah.
He has a fractured metacarpal, which I had too. It's like mine was a spiral break, which means it's like making a circle around the bone. It's more like an indentation,
Yeah.
but it's not. But either way, it hurts like a bitch.
Right.
It hurts. But him, they're trying to figure. They gave him an MRI. I don't know if they found anything. I didn't check recently, but I know they're basically thinking about, depending on how long he's out, they're thinking about shutting him down.
Well, it appears. I don't know why Adam Schefter of all people was tweeting about it, but he said injury update: Stephen Curry will miss at least the next 3 months after undergoing surgery on his left hand / second metacarpal.
That was okay. So that was also. I'm pretty sure that's his middle finger. That's literally the exact one I broke.
So.
But
That's
for
pretty
that,
big.
I know when you have surgery on that, that's repairing not just the bone but muscles around it, because your muscles can get fucked up.
Yikes.
So that is something like, yeah, it's only like when you shoot, he's right-handed, so it's the left hand is really just kind of guiding the ball, balancing it, getting the right spot.
It is still your placeholder hand though.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's not gonna play through that. That would be dangerous.
That would hurt
if
also
I'm serious,
probably.
Dude, I could not. We didn't go get it checked after I broke mine, and I waited like 7-8 hours because I went home after practice, and my coach was like, "Just ice it. I think you'd be good." I thought I jammed it.
Oh, okay.
Because I dove for a ball, and I came back, and my finger got stuck underneath my chest.
Yeah.
I pushed down, and I didn't know the ball crushed my metacarpal because it hurt right in the joint.
That sounds so
And, like,
painful.
Ew, dude, I like walked over to my coach. He's like, "You good?" And I was like, "No, it hurts bad." Went home. My mom's like, "We don't need to go to the doctor now." I slept with my hand under my pillow because I couldn't fucking move it.
Yeah.
And I was trying not to like lean on it. And then I woke up the next morning, my hand was fucking swollen. It was bad.
So,
but
based upon that injury alone, given his time frame,
for like a month and a half, because being younger, you heal a little quicker.
Yeah, of course. So, given his time frame or his projected time frame that they have, do you think
in February? Like,
do you think he even comes back if they're not even doing anything?
There's no point.
They're not going to be doing anything. Draymond can't carry them. He can't put up points.
See, the thing is, I heard some people saying, like, I heard Warrior fans, there's nobody important.
Nobody important.
It was a YouTuber, and he's like, "Don't worry, D'Angelo Russell can carry them." I was like,
"No, he can't."
That's hilarious.
He's like, he carried the no-name Nets, and I was like, "Okay, timeout. They had at least a decent team."
Right now, they are actually.
The Nets are a good, like, they have a lot of good role players, like secondary people, to like play the catch and shoot game. And Gary, was it Joe Harris? I almost said Gary. Joe Harris is shooting lights out right now.
I guess the Warriors didn't figure they needed to play any of their starters they're playing the Hornets right now, and they have all their basically, I'm guessing, their bench players in, because all the people, Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Looney, Klay Thompson, all these people are all out.
Clay's hurt.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Clay's also hurt. That's another big
Clay's
problem.
done. See, the thing is, now they're.
But
the thing is, if they come back at the same, they'll come back at the same time. Clay and Steph. Both be around February.
Okay. That's actually kind of interesting.
At that point, I really think they'll be that deep into the loss column.
Right.
It's not gonna matter.
So is that
come back with like 20 games left, and if you're sub 500 by like 25, you're not making the playoffs in the West.
Right. So
dude, I think a 500 team may not make the playoffs in the West, or in the East you might sneak in.
Wow. That is actually kind of crazy. Is that so that, like you said, that's the most surprising thing, the fact that they are doing as bad as they are?
Well, I thought honestly, like everybody's like, "Oh, if Steph wants to prove why he was the unanimous MVP, this is the time to do it." And I agreed with that. Because I thought, okay, they still got Steph. They got D'Angelo Russell to replace Clay. I mean, it's not really a replacement for Clay. It's just like a setup.
Right.
They have Willie Cauley-Stein to play center, who's a little bit of a big man. And they had Draymond. And I was like, okay, they've got their heart and soul of their defense. They've got their shooter. And they've got a good enough, like, two-guard.
Right.
I was like, okay, maybe they can do it. I figured they wouldn't be like a top, because when we did our playoff picks, like early playoff picks, I put them in the 6th seed.
Oh, wow. That's true. I do remember that.
Because I thought, like, personally, I figured, oh, yeah, they'd be able to do that. They'd be able to make the 6th seed and do that.
Just a quick update, apparently. Draymond Green also got injured during this game as well.
Yeah, they're just not playing their starters at this point. They're like, all right, Draymond, if you want to sit out, you're good. Just fake an injury.
So he's going to... Oh, okay. They said he tore a ligament, but I didn't.
He did not take...
Okay.
That man, it was a big old baby.
Gotcha. I didn't know.
I think the biggest surprise for me this year, probably Miami, considering they're 4-1.
Miami.
And
Dude,
Kendrick
I was noticing that.
This dude Kendrick Nunn, who I literally have never heard of, is just putting up 22 a game for the
Hey
Heat.
man,
That is
when you got nobody on the team besides Jimmy Butler, they need somebody.
Kendrick.
Also, Karl
Wow.
Anthony Towns is going insane this year, for some reason.
What? Oh, how well he's doing.
Yeah.
So
He
is
did-
this
He was doing good.
Kendrick Nunn guy? Is this a prospect or somebody who was like from an international squad?
I don't even know. I have no idea who.
I think he's. I think I've heard of him before. I think he's a second-year player, but let me look.
Okay. So I'm looking at the Eastern Conference here, and I gotta say, just looking at it flat out, there are a lot of teams. Well, considering the 76ers still haven't lost a game, there are a lot of teams compared to the Western Conference who have better records than the Eastern. Than the Western Conference. Sorry. And
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I was having...
there are a lot of Eastern Conference teams that have better records right now than Western Conference, considering they are a lot more 4-win teams and only 1 loss, and there are a few, now not all the 3-win teams. There are more 3-win teams in the Western than the Eastern, but it just seems to me that there is a lot more in terms of like total win streak. There's a lot more win streak right now because there's a lot of loss streaks in the West. There's a lot of teams have either lost 2 in a row who won 3 or 4, or they've lost or just lost 1. While in the East, there's a lot of teams on massive 3-game win streak, 4-game win streak, even 2-game win streak. Very
Yeah, but
few
it's also
on
because they're still playing in conference.
right.
They're not. They haven't really played like out of conference yet as
Okay.
much.
It's
But
kind of
also,
surprising
correcting
me a little
myself,
bit.
Kendrick Nunn is a rookie.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's fresh out the gate. Got it.
Yeah, dude. So
Kinda.
it's like the 76ers. Who have they played? I know they played Boston.
Okay. Who is a good team right now, or at least seems
Yeah,
like
Boston's not playing too bad. They're not doing too bad. I don't think they're that good,
it. Okay.
honestly. But they need something. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure they need like a real center. Like.
So
big
are the
body, big
76ers,
body.
would you guys put
They
them
beat
as
the
legit title contender, the 76ers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
Dude,
the
they look sick.
what about the Boston Celtics, cuz they're also 4-1, and the
No.
Raptors as well?
No, I'm gonna say no. and
Raptors
Here's
have
why.
been surprising.
Yeah, but I don't think they can keep that
Siakam
up.
stepped up this year.
They're
Yeah.
currently losing to the Bucks by 16.5, but they are
Well,
4-1.
think- What'd you say about the Bucks?
I was just saying they're currently losing to the Bucks by 16
no,
and a
what did
half,
Cole say?
but
I just said, well, they're the Bucks, so.
Oh yeah, no. I think honestly, like the top 3 teams in the East that will make the kind of 3 teams I would pick to go to the conference championship.
right.
I know 2 teams play, but I'm saying like 3 teams I could see making it.
Yeah.
Obviously the Sixers. I think the Bucks too. But if I'm to be dead honest, I mean, if Miami keeps playing the way they do,
Don't pick Miami.
no, dude, I'm gonna say this right now because I think Ben was Adebayo.
Yeah,
He's still
whatever.
there. He's not too bad. He's up and coming. I think if this is a breakout year for that team, I think they'd be good. I really don't think Boston's that good, and I know Toronto's not that good. Toronto lost a lot, and I don't think Siakam's going to be able to carry him. Kyle Lowry is aging, but he's aging in the right way. He's like moving his game to the 3 ball. He's kind of facilitating too.
Mm.
I mean, he's been that way, but he's doing it more and more. He's not like taking any chances going in.
Right.
But the Celtics, I feel like they're really missing something. And Gordon Hayward's still not necessarily where he used to be. Jaylen Brown, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, he's not the best right now.
They
but he's
overpaid
picking it
for
up.
him.
I agree with that. And it's just Boston. I feel like is missing something. The Bucks obviously are the Bucks. Like we don't need to worry about that. But I really don't see any other team like going that far.
So what about I do have a question because there's a really good young player that's right now, Trey Young on the Hawks. And I heard he just got recently injured in a kind of rough injury for him on his ankle.
They're screwed.
Well, their Hawks are currently in 6 right now. They're 2-3, but they've also lost 3 in a row to some. I mean, they lost to the 76ers barely, but they lost to the Heat as well, and they lost to the Heat back-to-back nights. Apparently, that's unfortunate. They had to play them back-to-back. But, what would you give? Like, I mean, on your opinion, do you think the Hawks without Trae Young have any chance, or do you think they have a chance even with Trae Young?
I think they got a chance to make the playoffs. That's nothing else.
I mean, maybe the 8 seed with Trae Young, but not without him.
I mean,
without
here's the way I see it. Like, I can't remember exactly what my Eastern Conference like prediction was exactly, but I know I
Right.
picked the Sixers, Celtics, Raptors, Bucks, Pacers. I think I said the Nets too, and I don't know exactly who else I said in my picks, but I think I said Miami might be able to squeak the 8 spot.
Okay.
But I don't see the Hawks like they need Trey. They need Trae Young.
Okay. I would
They
say
need they either need another draft pick or
right.
just Trae Young to come back and be who he is. But they need that one more person because right now the Western Conference is so stacked, and the teams that are good in the East are complete team. Like if you think about the 76ers, you got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. Who have we seen his jump shot yet? Because I haven't.
I have
only
never
saw it in
seen
an
Ben
international
Simmons
game.
jump shot actually.
No, he drained a 3 in an international game.
Really? Okay.
Dude,
That
it
was
was
preseason.
Yeah, I know, but that was still over in China, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
But, like
He
that's what I'm
shot
saying is, yeah, I don't think he shot one yet. But then you've also got Josh Richardson, who's really like a good fill-in. I feel like he's a little bit better fit for Philly compared to what Jimmy Butler was.
Mhm.
But either way, doesn't really matter because they both do the same thing. Just Jimmy Butler's a little bit bigger name and more efficient.
No, here's the thing. I'm looking at the Heat with Jimmy Butler, right? And I'm kind of confused because you said you're not expecting anything to come out of what they're doing, right? I mean, Cole picked the Heat, and you said don't pick Miami, right? But
Yeah, Cole. Well, that's because he's.
I'm
he's
seeing all
also
the
kinda
teams they've
thinking,
played, and it seems to me, at least for the most part, they're sharing the ball very well, and almost everyone who is. But Jimmy's not hot. What I'm trying to say, Jimmy's not hogging the ball. He's distributing very well, and everyone seems to be getting double-digit points almost every game.
I just don't know if I
I
their
don't. I
talent
think
is
you don't.
so uncertain and unverified. I just don't know if they're gonna keep it up.
But I think I kind of agree with Cole, but I'm kind of expecting I'm going to be the opposite of him and say like I kind of expect this to be a breakout year for some of those players.
I'm a bit confused. I'm noticing there's a bunch of these games where Jimmy Butler hasn't even played. Am I missing something here, or is there just?
Probably a glitch because. No wait, did he sit out a game?
He's only played 2 games.
Yeah,
I
there's
think he
a
sat out.
few games here he hasn't played, and I'm confused why they would sit him out so many games so early.
You never know. I mean, he probably might
remember
have.
hearing
I don't
about
think he had an
injury.
injury. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either, which is kind of weird to me. But I was just looking. I was like, wait, I don't see any stats for him. What the hell? But I am very intrigued because you guys were Austin. I remember preseason when before you were talking before the season started for the NBA. You were trashing on the Spurs this year, but they've actually started out pretty hot.
Yeah, dude. I don't expect anything from him.
Not
You can start,
expecting anything.
Like I said, you can start out hot. Like this is what my biggest thing is with the Lakers. I said Danny Green's shooting the lights out, but can he do it all year?
Probably not.
Because Danny Green's streaky.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like this first say 15 games, he shoots lights out, but the next 15, God knows what could happen.
I've also seen in the NBA many times over the past few years where there'll be a 10 through 13th seed in each conference just shoot up after the All-Star break and all of a sudden just can't stop winning. And
Yep.
it's very surprising to see it, and they end up like 3rd or 4th in each conference. And if you had to pick one of the teams who are in the bottom tier bracket of each one, in the bottom, who do you think has the highest chance to take a high playoff spot from later on in the year?
Are we saying like Eastern Conference or Western Conference?
Either one from each, or whoever you think has the highest chance to do it. Who's underperforming basically right now?
Oh, underperforming right now. The Rockets are sitting at 3-2, but I mean that's not going to stay that way for long. I don't.
Well,
think.
but they're still technically locked in at 7 right now, so they'd still be in the playoffs. But I mean, like if you look at someone who's not in it right now, like I don't know,
it's
the
like we're
Nets
looking at,
or I don't know if the
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think the Nets are really that bad.
or even the Thunder or the Pelicans.
I just think they got Kyrie had one game winner he kind of missed. I mean, he fell over. It looked like or else everybody's like he tried a street ball move. I'm like, yeah, it just looked like he fell over a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
I could be wrong, but I mean, the
And I'm sure
Brooklyn
the
Nets.
Trailblazers will make the playoffs at some point.
Well, yeah, but they're sitting up in the 7 spot.
Right now they're in the
ninth.
9th. Yeah, they've actually dropped a little bit. They have won one, but they've also
the
had
one
other
I'm
good
looking
wins.
at's different than
How many games have they played on the one you're looking at?
6.
Okay.
Oh, 5.
Oh, okay. Because on our, they played 5 games on this one too, but they're still tied for the 7th as well. So it's
Actually,
just
if you look at it, it's 6 through 10 are tied.
yeah, 6 through 10 are at the same. So I mean, you could technically say the same about them, but I think it's based upon like who they played so far.
Kind of like talking about of these teams at the bottom being, let's just say the Thunder, Grizzlies, Warriors, Pelicans.
Yeah, that's mainly who I went. Like 10 through 15, who do you think
could jump?
who will jump the highest? And where will they get to on either conference or each conference?
None of the teams in the West are good enough, because literally if you look at 1 through 10, they're all good teams.
And then it's just a dumpster fire after that.
It's just a dumpster fire.
Basically.
I mean, if the Warriors like don't do terrible until Steph and Clay come back and they bring
stay
back Steph
500,
and Clay.
if they stay 500 or just literally just below 500 until they come back,
Yeah.
like I'm talking like 4 or 5 games, they might be able to squeak in an 8 spot.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, the teams that are gonna be running 1 through 5 are gonna have probably close to 50.
Probably close to how many?
I'd say 50 wins.
Wow. Okay. That would be on. Wouldn't that
Because
be on the lower side though, or would that be considered high this year?
If that many teams have 50 wins, that would be insane.
So that'd be actually very impressive to have that many wins this year.
Yeah, because they're gonna be beating the hell out of each other for weeks.
I
They're gonna be
disagree,
trading wins.
but I disagree with that personally.
The Lakers Clippers game, they're beating the crap out of each other for a little bit.
All right, I'll give you that.
Like the Timberwolves Sixers game, Towns and Embiid quote unquote fought. It's not really.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up a little bit. That I heard that Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid got into a fight.
They're in Twitter beefs all the time, dude. They just bring it onto the court sometimes. It's
Now-
nothing more than that.
Forgive me for asking this. Which team is Karl Anthony Towns on again? Is he on the Grizzlies?
Wolves.
Timberwolves. Got it. Okay.
Honestly, like the Utah Jazz are gonna be a solid defensive team this year. They already proved it, and they're not too bad. They just Mike Conley had a really rough first 3.
Right. And wow, look at that. The Timberwolves are actually in 3rd right now in the West. That's impressive.
Give it time.
Cat is going off.
He needs help though, big help.
They are killing the
don't-
Wizards right now.
I don't hate Andrew Wiggins like everyone else does. I think
I think Andrew Wiggins is pretty
hate him
cool.
either.
definitely
It's just-
improved, but
Oh, big time.
he's not
but I think,
like everyone calls him a huge bust and like a terrible player. I'm
He's
like, he's
not
putting up
doing too
20
bad.
points per game.
I don't think he's doing that bad. I just don't think he is the guy.
No.
Like he never was. Okay, if you really want my opinion on who in the bottom tier is going to be able to jump up, I'm going to say this. Like I'm not even going to say jump up to a top because the 5 spot, 1 through 5 in each conference seems to me to be like a lock pretty much.
Right.
Because the Western Conference is just stacked, so I don't think anybody at the bottom tier. Like, unless somehow Sacramento makes a trade of a century, they're not doing anything. The Pelicans, they're too young. The Warriors, they're hurt. The Grizzlies suck. And the Thunder don't have any.
Unless they make the trade of the century.
Yeah, like, they're not doing anything. So, and then I go over to Eastern Conference. There's really only one team in here that, would surprise me.
Okay.
But they would only make the 8 spot. First of all, Cleveland, I don't think will make the playoffs. They're sitting in 9.
No.
The Nets will probably make it. I think they turn it around.
No, I think the Bulls have a lot of young talent as well.
I think
We are just playing really inconsistently right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think isn't Laurie
Super
Markkinen?
inconsistent.
Isn't he kind of?
He's very good.
Yeah.
Our 3 best guys, Laurie Markkinen, Zach LaVine, and I mean I think our 3rd best player is probably Kobe White at this point. It might be Otto Porter, but
Dude,
I would say Kobe.
Otto's not gonna be that guy that carries you. I think Kobe probably a little bit better.
They're just
Like-
Zach
I
Levine's
don't
having
know
a
what it
good
is. They're
start
just
to the season, though.
inconsistent.
I think I'm gonna say this, and I don't really have much conviction behind it. But if I see a team squeak in, it's probably gonna be Detroit.
Yeah, I was about to mention him for a second.
But even then, it's still a long shot. Like I'm thinking maybe they'll make 6 or not 6, 7 or 8, but that's about it. Because really, they're not going to be beating the Bucks or the Raptors consistently, the Celtics, definitely not the Sixers. Sixers are freaking juggernauts this year.
I was going to mention this because I'd seen a lot of people on social media talking about this. I've heard that Derrick Rose is having a very good start to the year, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has.
And on the Pistons, that he's doing quite well.
Out of my boy.
Yeah, he's come out pretty well.
Do you think he would be able to lift the Pistons up enough, despite all the Pistons' downfalls, to a playoff spot?
Not by himself.
I mean, when Blake comes back, they'll be better.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's why I'm kind of saying like they're at 13 right now because they're 2-4.
Right.
But I think when they get healthy,
Okay.
I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They won't be good. And I've heard some people say like D-Rose MVP season, he's looking good. And I'm like, nah, dude. No.
There's a lot of.
Don't give me that.
Him and Lou Williams are like front runner for 6-man currently.
Yeah,
He doesn't even start, so how is he gonna win MVP?
I don't know. That's just like I've heard some Detroit fans just be like, "Oh yeah, woo." I'm like, chill.
There are so many. I mean, I'm looking at like just the West and East Conference straight up right now. There are a lot more one-win teams in the West than compared to the Eastern. There's only 2, and there's at least like 8, almost 8 2-win teams. There may even be 8 2-win teams in the East, and there's like 5 3-win teams in the West. It's very different comparing the conferences. Like they're very different right now, almost.
Like I said though, they're beating the hell. Like the Western Conference is beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, I do notice every team in the West has at least one loss. That is pretty interesting.
Well, I think the Rockets actually lost one of their games to the Bucks. Giannis hit a nice 16. Well, they had a 16-point comeback like opening night.
All right. So recounting it all up, giving it to you what you've seen, counting all the injuries. Now here's your second chance. Who do you have as your two? I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Who is your front runner for MVP right now? Who do you see as the MVP? And then who is your number 1 spot in each conference? Top spot.
Fuck, dude.
I'll give you mine because I have looked at the stats. I have watched some games.
Philly's been the best team in the East so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Philly at 1 for the East.
You think they hold on to that the whole season, basically?
Yeah, because they're much like the thing is they're much better statistically and how like well built their team is versus the Bucks.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna say this about the Bucks: when you have Giannis, who could maybe make a back-to-back MVP run because his team does not look that good. He literally has the the Lopez brothers to play with.
Right.
Like, he's gonna be doing a lot of carrying. He's gonna be tired after this year.
I would assume so. Yeah.
He's gonna we think about what LeBron did for Cleveland. That's what Giannis is doing.
Yeah.
Except Giannis has a much better team than LeBron ever had at Cleveland when he first got there.
True.
But like I agree with Cole. I mean, the Sixers are in first in the Eastern Conference, but the West is I'll be honest with you. I can't even make a pick right now. Like, yeah, the Lakers are in first right now, but I could easily okay, San Antonio's not going to stay at the top the whole time.
No.
But the thing
you're
is,
not
the
seeing
Nuggets,
you're not seeing the Spurs stay at high 2 right there?
hell no.
Okay, you think they've just been lucky so far?
I mean, they haven't played too many people. They just lost to I believe it's the Clippers.
Okay.
Right? They just lost to the Clippers.
They just beat the injured Warriors.
Yeah, like wow, you beat the Warriors.
Lost to the Clippers. They beat the Blazers.
Well, they lost to the Clippers. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they lost, and it wasn't like it wasn't a close game. Really, like there were some points where it got close, but that's because it's kind of like the Clippers seem to take the foot off the pedal, and DeMar DeRozan honestly is playing pretty well. He's playing really good.
Okay.
But honestly, like thinking about first in the West, it's one of the teams in LA.
Yeah.
I can't pick right now because I need to see them play each other maybe once or twice more because I think they play each other 4 times.
Shocker.
Well, because they're in the same.
Yeah.
I think they're in the same conference. I don't know
it makes sense.
I don't know if they play 4. They might only play 3.
Okay, well, what about the Jazz? Because the Jazz are a team I've heard for a long time, especially with all their talent, that they should be really, really good. And they were good last year, right? They were good last year, better than they were supposed to be, correct?
Yeah, but they didn't really make any big moves.
And so, did they lose anyone major that would cause them to fall off?
No.
Okay.
No, they gained Mike Conley, but he has not been.
He's not there right. It's like he's gone MIA.
Okay.
But
Well, he did have 29 a couple games ago.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah, but
shooting
him-
30% from the field and from
his
three-point.
first
Yeah,
two
it's
games,
a
in, I
yikes.
think he was like, I know his first game he was 1 for 16.
The Jazz did have a very rough loss to the Kings yesterday. 1 point loss.
Oh well, they gave the Kings the first win. Good job, guys.
Yeah, there they are. I look at these two teams and I look at these two conferences and I think you guys are underestimating. Well, I agree the Bucks will probably be a lot better. They'll probably finish top of the conference, maybe this with the 76ers as well. But I think you're underestimating the Heat because they have so much talent, and I also think
I said the Heat would probably make.
Yeah, but you said you're probably make the playoffs. You didn't say they're going to continue on their streak that they're on.
I said
basically.
they might make it to the conference championship, possibly.
Well, that
they keep
okay,
playing well.
true. It's fine. Sorry. Yes,
No.
you said Cole is underestimating the Heat entirely.
Absolutely not. They're being led by a rookie right now.
Huh?
They're being led by a rookie right
But
now.
also, you got to remember Jimmy Butler's only played 2 games and they have 4 wins, so that's impressive enough.
No.
Okay,
But
fine.
it's
They're
too
not
early.
making the conference
And
finals.
and
They're
I
not beating
think
the Celtics. They're not beating the Raptors. They're not beating the Bucks.
Dude, they might beat the Raptors.
and just because I'm a
Raptors do
huge
not
fan of
go
Andrew
up.
Wiggins, I think the Timberwolves stay in the top 5 for sure throughout the
I
year.
don't.
I think
really don't.
I think they at least finish maybe even top 4. They have the talent. They definitely have the ability.
They're not beating the Clippers.
Nope.
Probably not.
They might not beat the. They probably won't beat the Nuggets.
I think they beat the Nuggets.
I don't know if I would pick them over the Spurs, honestly.
Really?
I don't know about that one. I might pick them. I might. I'm not gonna give that a full check.
The Rockets, on any given night, the Rockets could beat them.
I feel like the Rockets could on any. I feel like the Rockets on any night could beat anyone in the West though. Good.
I still think it's absurd to pick them as will be the number 1 seed in the West.
I mean, they're not gonna be the number 1 seed. That's gonna be Lakers or Clippers.
Yeah, like the Lakers and Clippers, both are defensive. They look both defensively sound right. And
Well, they
both
have massive
offense.
power forwards who act like
Well,
centers. So
You know
of course
who's-
they
you know
are.
Who's actually the most outstanding player right now in the league?
Who's that?
Freaking Dwight Howard.
That is the joke, and he's actually doing the best. Really? Well, not best, but you know what I mean. Like
No,
you
dude,
said.
His first he was
Where are
playing
you getting
so well.
this from?
Really?
His
Putting up
yeah.
5 points per game.
No, look if you look at his defensive stats, his first few games he was averaging like 4.5 blocks.
He does have 12 blocks this year, which is
Yeah,
impressive.
I think
12 blocks? Wow. Okay,
Dude,
that's a
it
lot.
was like he had like 4. Him and Anthony Davis, I think, had like 9 against the Clippers.
That is actually pretty wild.
They were sitting there throwing their shit into the 5th row. I'm
That-
not even joking. Like somebody went up and Dwight just goes. I don't even know. It was a shorter guy. I can't remember who it was, but he went in for a layup and Dwight just put his hand over top and brought it down. It was like, no.
All right, I'm gonna
No.
give you. All right, so real quick, just to get this in because I have one
I'm
more.
not saying he's MVP, but I'm saying like
He's putting up
He's
5 points per game.
I'm saying he's being very surprising this year.
Top 4 in blocks.
Just to remember the question, I'm gonna get. I have one more question after this, so I want to get it through. Who is your, considering everything you've seen and what you can predict now, who do you think your MVP is this year?
Shit.
Considering how you've seen the start of it go, given all the injuries, when you think
Okay.
people will be back, blah blah blah.
Okay, if I'm going to think about this like somebody who votes for the MVP spot,
Yes.
they always go off a story, right? Like they do a
course.
lot of story-based voting.
Well, you can do who you well, you could do it who you think deserves it the most, or you could do who you think will actually win it.
For most deserved,
I think most deserved is
I don't know, right?
a little bit obvious.
Go ahead.
For most deserved, I would give it to Kyrie because
Kyrie.
he's just playing amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Also there,
I like that.
Okay.
he's shooting really well.
He is. Like he's been lights out on shooting.
He's second in scoring. He's putting up 5 rebounds, 7 assists.
Now is Harden scoring highest again this year?
Harden's first, but he can't. He's
Okay.
like 30. He's shooting
it's
like
impossible.
really low numbers, but he just
It's
shoots
impossible
all
for
the
him
time.
not to be like the
36
top
a game. Wow.
He gets to the line like 15 times a game.
scorer. True.
Okay, that does make a lot of sense. He also shoots 14 3-pointers a game, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say this much.
Yeah.
Most deserved if Kawhi. I'm gonna say this much about Kawhi.
Okay.
The other night he put up like 47 and 5.
Right.
If he consistently does that,
Puts off 47 points real fast.
dude, no, he's throwing up like 40. He's thrown up like 40 points, 7 like 7 boards and 5 assists.
Yeah.
I'm saying if he consistently does something like that, like he keeps up if he keeps up his points like above like 25
Right.
and gets like 7 and 5, and he carries that Clippers team, because right now they don't have Paul George.
Yeah, okay.
I think he might get it, but I think honestly, if I'm to think about the MVP voters, if the Lakers keep doing what they're doing, LeBron's getting.
You think LeBron will get it?
I don't think LeBron will ever win another MVP.
The only
I
reason
think
I'm
he's
saying I don't think he deserves it. I'm saying they vote off of story, right? LeBron had a down year last year. He got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, his team hasn't been good for forever. Now he's got a good team, and look what he's doing. He carried them to a playoff spot, to the number 1 seed, blah blah blah, wherever they end up.
Right, right.
And he had a triple double last night. He's averaging a double right now pretty easily. Like it's like he's not even trying.
Yeah.
So I think something like that would give like the voters a reason to vote for LeBron, but I don't think he'll get it personally.
Okay. I was gonna say just one thing. I was looking up something really interesting. You guys have mentioned this already, but Karl Anthony Towns is playing the least amount of minutes per game, and he's still in the top 7 of scoring right now.
He's efficient.
His minutes per game is 28. He's at 27 points per game. The only one close to him and doing that much is Kawhi at 29.8, who's only getting 29 points a game, which is it's very interesting to see that he's almost doing 2 minutes less per game than Kawhi is, and he's just literally getting 1 point less.
He also got ejected that other night, and I don't know how many minutes were left in that game, so that was time.
Right. But it's just like he's having clearly a really good season if he's able to put up that much in that few amount of minutes compared to everyone else who's on the list who's getting like 33 plus minutes per game.
True.
That's
true.
very
Shooting so well.
His field goal percentage is actually through the roof at 544 right now.
Shooting 53% for 3, and
That
he's
is
hit the 3rd most 3-pointers this year.
insane. Just
Hey, oh boy,
wild.
Center.
And you look at Harden's numbers, his field goal percentage is 36, and his 3-point percentage is 220 or
Yeah,
200. So
Oh my god, I thought he was about to say it's legitimately a 2%.
no, not to 200, but like it's just like compared to all the other shooters on the list besides Anthony Davis, his percentages are terrible.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Harden's percentages are going to go up. He just struggled like the first couple games.
Well, it's gonna go up, but he's also still gonna take that many shots. So
For the Lakers to have 2 people almost in the top 10 of points per game is kind of wild with Anthony Davis and LeBron. LeBron's at 11 though.
dude, I'm telling you, they're gonna be like, if they keep it up, they'll be good. But if they go into load management, they're not getting 1s. They might
Now
not even get a 2.
Giannis was the MVP last year, correct?
Yeah.
Right. He seems to have fallen off just a tad bit this year in scoring at 24.8. Not a whole lot compared to the other
I
shooters,
think he's
but
fouled out like twice.
okay.
I
So
know he fouled out in Houston. That was actually
Right.
honestly a little bit of a bullshit call, but it's okay.
I mean, he's played
Still-
5 games.
True.
it is
But
well,
at this
oh,
little of a time period, like in this short of a time, it makes a difference. Like if it was later in the season, I'd say, oh, he fouled out twice. It wouldn't matter.
right. So the only other question I had pertaining to the NBA per se is about the Pelicans, who have all that young talent and of course Zion on their team.
Zion.
They seem to be doing really. Wait, sorry, what?
Zion's injured.
Oh wait. Oh, that's right. He's out for a
Dude,
few
he's got-
weeks.
he-
I forgot.
No, he's gone for like a month or 2. He's got a meniscus tear.
Right. I completely forgot. But okay, given that they are 1 and
Brandon
5,
Ingram has stepped
probably.
up. He's been
Yeah,
amazing.
dude.
Okay, well, given that they are 1-5, probably primarily due to that, do you think when he comes back, it's going to make a massive difference?
No.
Or is that team just really
I'm gonna
bad,
tell you that,
even with
no.
him?
Brandon Ingram's establishing himself as the best player on that team, so he's probably going to have to take a backseat to Brandon Ingram.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, well, you can't.
He's
You
playing at
can't go on
27
that
and 8.
team. Like
Wow.
Zion can't go on that team and claim it's his team after Brandon Ingram. Like Zion hasn't played a minute in a Pelicans uniform, like officially yet.
Right.
Yeah, he played preseason, but that doesn't count.
Right, right.
So it's like you can't expect Brandon Ingram after he's become like the go-to guy. They're not gonna just come off of that instantly and just say give Zion the ball because first of all, they're already losing. I'd say
Yeah.
maybe they might try and say feed Zion the ball, and if they lose again and they keep losing, there's no point to keep feeding. Like just let the offense happen through Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand. So you think even with Zion coming back and however long it takes, you don't see them improving vastly in any way?
They're just way too young.
Way too young?
I think they'll be like the what is it like the Hawks? Like the Hawks over time have gotten good.
Now, is Lonzo Ball doing anywhere near what he's supposed to be doing in terms of where he
I
came
couldn't
into
tell
the...
you any of Lonzo's stats. I have no idea what he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't honestly kept up with him. I've been trying to keep up with like the top teams because,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
I said, they're just beating each other and like.
No,
they're
I
down there,
understand.
Like, what are they doing?
I was just interested because I was looking at the Pelicans. I was surprised. I kind of forgot that Zion was injured, but I was surprised to see how bad they were performing with
No,
all
dude,
their
they're
talent.
too young. I mean,
Okay.
they've played like some big teams.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, they just beat the Nuggets yesterday apparently.
Yeah, but I know they lost to the Warriors.
Which, considering that's the only Warriors.
Well, that was
win.
before the injury, so Steph was sitting there just shooting, lobbing up threes. Steph fucking throws up threes like it's a goddamn lob to somebody, and they just go in.
Yeah, it's too bad he won't be able to do that for a few months now. But I was just interested because I was looking at all these different teams, and it's kind of the first time I'd taken a hardcore look at the NBA since the start of the season. I was looking, and it's interesting to see that most of these teams I kind of expected, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz, even the Spurs, I guess, a little bit. The Nuggets and the Rockets are a little low from where I thought they were, and the Trailblazers are doing kind of worse than I thought, but they're 3-2, so it's not a huge deal. But I am kind of stunned to see the Heat in the top, the Raptors up top as well, and the Hawks especially. Yeah, the Hawks were really bad last year, I thought, so very interesting to see them up at number 6 right now.
I mean,
All
they're
I'm
2 and 3. I wouldn't call that anything impressive.
Okay, it's not impressive, but for the
Yeah,
Eastern but to be
really
fair, the Eastern Conference has like
Is
5 teams that are doing good right now. So other than that, it seems like everyone else is kind of where the Hawks are pretty much.
The way I see it, the Western Conference is kind of panning out how I see it, how I
Okay.
saw it to begin with, minus the San Antonio and Timberwolves.
Yeah.
But after that, it's like everybody else who's 4 through 8 is pretty much kind of what I expected.
Okay. I
But
still
then
think the
again-
Trailblazers pop back up though. I think they had too much talent to be to not do better than they are.
Oh, can I say Whiteside actually looks pretty good on the team?
Yeah.
He's not doing bad.
Sam
no, pretty
Whiteside, yeah.
Yeah.
I
The Mavs just I don't think they've got what it takes to stay up there. I think Dan picked them. I think Dan picked them as the 8 spot.
So the Timberwolves are actually winning 99-70 right now against the Wizards and almost
the
quarter four.
Wizards.
I know. I'm
Wizards
just, but what I'm saying is they're going to be 4-1. So if you put them at 4-1 right now, they're actually tied with the highest record in the West right now.
I bet you right now both of those teams play either team from LA. They're getting skunked.
You think so? You think the Timberwolves play any team from LA, they get destroyed?
I'm pretty sure if they play the Clippers, they're going to lose.
Okay. I actually disagree. I think they have the talent to at least make it close.
Because I'll tell you this, both of those LA teams, like, no, from what I've seen, the only team that can play as good a defense as both LA teams are playing right now are the
Yeah.
Jazz. Because we watched the defense from the Mavericks, it was not good. Like I watched some of that game, it was not good. Like if LeBron can take a nice step back 3,
Yeah.
there's a problem because he's got a slow shot.
True. If LeBron is allowed to shoot on any team, that defense is rough because
Well, if
he just
LeBron's
shoots so
hitting
slow.
shots, then there's a problem too.
Well, it's
And plus, they
especially given how old he is now. You should be able to defend him.
Dude, I'm seeing gray
at
in
this
that man's
point.
beard.
He's definitely
It's
old.
getting bad. But like even then, Kawhi's just like he's running up, taking middies. He's looking like Kobe and Michael.
Well, actually, it's looking like the Suns are about to beat the Grizzlies, which would put them tied for first in the West right now.
Suns.
The
You mean
Suns,
tied
indeed,
for
or tied for fourth
they'd be
and tied for the
4-2.
fourth, because they'd be 4-2 along with the Jazz and Clippers, so
Oh,
they'd be
true.
tied for fourth right now, which would actually jump them from 10th. So that's kind of a big jump right there.
Well, it's still so early. You can't.
Could
Yeah,
be the
I
Suns,
know.
but I don't care. They're not making the playoff.
Okay, you've made your opinion very clear on that. I get it. I'm just saying.
Both of us have made our opinions clear. They ain't making it.
Look, I understand you don't like the Suns, but you gotta admit they had
It's not
beaten
that
some
I- it's not
teams.
that I
Dislike
don't
the
like
Suns.
them.
There's something about the Suns I dislike. It's just
They're
have enough talent.
not. Yeah, they're not where they need to be to win in this division.
Okay, but they have won 4 games already though, and
But
only
that's
2
what- no,
losses.
in 6 games played.
Yeah, missing the point. It's too early.
So early.
I get it. I get
we're
it.
like sitting here. I'm sitting here heaping praise on the Lakers, but I guarantee you by mid-season, I'll just be like, they fucking suck.
They fucking suck.
I mean,
Well, this is actually a big game right now. You got the Raptors facing off against the Bucks, who are 4th and 5th on each other. Who do you think
That'll
wins
be-
that?
See, that's
Because it said they're starting a quarter 4, and the Bucks are only up 5 right now, and the Bucks are technically
Yeah.
behind the Raptors in the standings by 1 game.
Giannis can carry him. The thing is, though, it's like the thing is with the Raptors, they don't have that one superstar.
Yeah, I was looking at their
They
team.
have
The best one they have is
The Raptors?
no,
no.
Ra-
I thought you, okay, never mind.
I mean, you're not wrong. He used to play for him.
I mean,
But here's the
Siakam's
thing, though. I'm looking
looking
at
at
this
He's
this
looking like
game.
a good star. I think he needs to play a few more games before I give him
I was
superstar.
I was looking at the scoring per
He's-
game.
he's-
Siakam's like 8th right now in scoring.
Oh yeah, because he's their like one option.
Although Kyle Lowry has put up 34 this game, and it's still the fourth. It's just started the 4th quarter, which is a lot, but
That's the thing though. Lowry's so like hit or miss sometimes.
he does seem to be a bit like I looked at his other games. He's like 10, 15.
Yeah, like some days he'll facilitate, and the other days he'll actually shoot, and if he's on, he's on.
Yeah, it does seem to be very inconsistent, which I've noticed. That's again, not to harp on opinions I brought, but that seems to be the way of a lot of the NBA this year, inconsistency, which is why I don't think it's going to be super competitive like you guys think it's going to be, because some teams are going to lose games they shouldn't lose because they're
That's
inconsistent.
sports.
I get
Most
that
games
sports, but
any team has played is 6. 6.
I'm telling you now. I called it at the beginning of the year. I called it before we did the first thing. And I'm telling
And
you
this is
right
how we
now
end the
that it's
show.
going to be
We are
inconsistent.
6 games into this season. Everything could change.
You can't hear
besides
anything.
The Lakers and the Clippers and the Sixers.
It's
Yeah.
the 3 top teams playing. Like those are the 3 top teams in the league right now. I mean, yeah, the Clippers' record doesn't show it, even though they're 4-2 now. Were they 3-2 before?
The Clippers are 4-2. I have no idea. They I could check real quick.
No, they're 4-2. But I thought it literally just changed, which it might have. I don't know.
So yeah, no, they haven't played in a couple of days. So yeah, they're 4-2
Okay,
right now.
Yeah, they're 4-2. So be it. It's not.
Yeah. So
Either
I
way.
still think I'm right on this though. I still would bet that this NBA is going to be
I'm
extremely
gonna quote Cole
inconsistent.
here. Well, you're wrong.
Wow. Okay.
It's okay to be wrong.
Wow.
You.
It's just that I'm right.
Okay. On that note, I have nothing more to talk about in terms of actual topics. I think
we're
we've
done.
exhausted
Way
everything.
long.
Indeed.
But that's okay. But that's because we had 3 sports to cover.
Yeah, we had to cover up a whole week as well.
We actually, we covered a week we missed. We covered 3 sports. Yeah, I think we did pretty good today.
Yeah, we hit everything.
Proud. Next week we'll record on Friday and make it a little easier.
Hopefully, yeah,
Although-
we can get that done if everyone's available. Again, we're not sure.
Dude, Dan, at this point, Dan, I'm sorry, but
He's almost a guest
you're
at
the
this
guest.
point.
You're a guest at this point. Like, we'll still consider you part of the group, but you're a guest at this point.
Yeah.
Demoted. Just kidding, Dan. We love you.
Hopefully, we can get him in
I
next
mean,
week
I
if
don't know
he's
about Cole,
available.
why not?
He breaks
People
every
are
chair.
Punching
man.
Ryan in the face. That was hilarious.
That was the
We
worst,
need to put that up on our channel.
worst
Oh,
thing
God, yes.
ever.
let that go up on our channel.
Never
Just be like, what we
felt
do.
something hurt so much like that.
We'll get off of that. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. We're glad we finally got to come back. Next week's gonna be kind of chaotic because, again, like I said, I'm traveling, weddings, other stuff to do. I have homework, and I don't like my life right now. So much fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And this has been Ryan, Cole, and Austin, the Big Three Sportscast. Hopefully next week we get to actually cover everything. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Will we get to go over sports again? Football again? Right?
Yeah, we for sure will.
I'm blanking.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover football
So
again.
tired. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it. All right, guys. We hope you all have a great week, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.